And now we are officially live in the flesh with Mr. Points with Philip. Here he is again. The second time on
There
the
we go.
show, baby. He's here. What's going on?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing good, doing good.
Good, good.
Now, I just wanted to address something right off the bat here, right in the intro. If some of you may know, but me and Phil did a live stream many months ago. Actually, not many months ago. It was about 3 months ago when he just got started on credit card YouTube. And
Yeah,
some things happen. You did some really nice things. You got like a ton of videos out. You did like 80 videos talking about so many different topics. You did really well. You got monetized, over 1,000 views. And then somewhere along the line, we went from, oh, Anthony's my friend, to, oh, actually, Anthony's wrong about absolutely everything. He's wrong. He's an idiot. He's a has-been. And I'm here to confront you and ask, what the heck? I mean, I talk about how great the Aspire is. You tell me the Ritz is better. I talk about premium credit
because it
cards and
is.
why you don't need them. And then you say, actually, you do need a premium card. Actually, everybody needs a premium card. So what's the deal, man? What kind of beef do you have with me?
Well, they say never get too close to your heroes, and I guess I just had to learn that everyone needs one of these. Everyone needs one of these little cards. Maybe not this one, but a little bit of niceness in life is kind of hard to come by, and if you can make it happen, you should make it happen.
See, I don't, as Juan says here, I'm not going to take that disrespect, all right? I'm not going to take that right off the bat. Now, I don't believe, and I've done a full 180 here. I just don't think you really need it. I really don't. I'm going to be honest. I saw your video, but and you went through all the points on what is worth it for a high end annual fee card, and like here are all the reasons that you justified, and all the things you mentioned to me you can get with no annual fee cards. I mean, you talked highly about car rental status and stuff like that. I was like, I can get Hertz Presidential with my MasterCard, any MasterCard with my Built card, Freedom Flex. I can get Hertz, and I could just status match that to Enterprise and National, all that. What am I worried about? Why do I need a high end card for that? That was one of your main points, and I was like, you
That's
don't need
true.
it.
That's true. All right, so you got me there in that you do have access to some of these things. But here's the thing. So these premium cards, they give you access, but they also make sure that you are not in a risky position once you actually make that rental. And the reason why I'm talking about that is the fact that where is that thing? I'm just going to pull out my little wallet here, look for the
Extra.
Ritz-Carlton card. And here's my free authorized user card too. So
Oh, very nice.
there's that. But this one comes with free primary CDW insurance, and I challenge you to find any of your cards that do that are not premium. And so basically, not only do you get the special access to the free upgrades and being able to really kind of own the rental car lot, you're also kind of protected if something happens too. So I was in Atlanta, what was that, in October, and then again in March. And when I was there in March with a rental car, there was a hailstorm where I was,
Wow.
and I was like, for a split second, I was like freaking out because I was like, wow, we had a traverse, so like the leather, heated seats, the whole 9 yards, and I
Mm,
was like, if
nice.
there's hail damage on this card, I'm really going to be in trouble. So I actually went to the Chase website and found out that hail damage is covered, and so I didn't worry anymore that night, and that was kind of nice.
Well, it's great. That's a great little that's a great story. But what's the what's the likelihood that we're gonna be in hailstorms? And actually, Ian brings up a good point, and actually a point I was going to make. Now, my initial point was, if you were going to tell me a story about how you just crashed in a rental car and like, oh, I was covered, I was going to be like, well, maybe you shouldn't be driving anyway. But that wasn't the story. There was hail. I forgot about that, so I don't really have a rebut for that. I will say though, as Ian mentions here, he's way too pampered to be renting cars. Driver, please. And that's kind of how I felt when I was just recently in Greece. I mean, I got hired drivers. Some showed up, some didn't. Got some Ubers and taxis and stuff like that, and I had a great time. Why are you so worried about rental cars, Phil? Like, what's the deal? Do you have to always be in control? I mean, what the heck?
So lots to unpack there. I kind of want to get into Ian's point though, and kind of your point too. So my wife and I, when we got to London the first time, we ended up actually getting a driver from Heathrow to the hotel room. And honestly, that was the best experience of my life. Because so first of all, like they actually had like the little iPad with Mr. Stucky, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'm a Mister,
Yeah.
And he brought us to our car. It was a Mercedes S Class. And so we had an hour and a half drive into the city because I decided to come in at 9 o'clock in the morning because I'm an
Mhm.
idiot. And it was just fun to just ride an S Class, backseat of an S Class with my little chilled water bottle next to me. And so I get what you're coming from, Ian, about the driver. But yeah, a little bit, honestly, when you're going, especially in the United States, when you're going to a bunch of different places and you're just not really sure what you're going to be doing, you're visiting other people, the rental car is really the only way to go.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that, but think about how nice that trip was in London, though. Think about how nice that
It was
private
nice,
driver
yeah.
was all the way out there. I mean, think about that could be every time. I mean, how much did that really cost you think, that one ride?
That car ride cost me, I think it was like $98 or so. Like it wasn't terrible, honestly.
It's like $98, huh? I wonder how much it would have been to rent a car and how stressful it would have been if you were to go through all that,
Well, I
you
actually
know?
I have a connection with Enterprise that I'm able to use. I think there's a certain number of times per year. So I actually ended up renting a car that trip, and for the day we had a Audi SUV, and it was 13 pounds a day. So
Mm, I
a
see.
little bit cheaper.
Okay, not bad. All right, fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. Ian says the first time you get somebody holding your name up and they're actually there on time, ready to go, amazing is amazing. Um,
So that's actually the second part. Our flight ended up arriving about an hour early, so we were just kind of waiting on them. But yeah, I can imagine that being very nice.
yeah, I mean, look, I actually, like I mentioned in my video, I did do what Ian mentioned, which is a private driver to come pick us up from the Athens airport. They never showed up, but I was really hoping to get footage of like Anthony Venture, here he is, and then go and drive. Would have been fun.
Right?
But no, yeah. So, all right. So that before we get any further, let me just say what's up. Mike Newland said it's taken forever to get to the stream. Tavo,
Yeah.
you're Mr. Potatoes in. What's popping? M to the K. What's going on? Sleepy Rod said Phil might deliver some strong points, but my boy Anthony might pull out the steel chair at last minute. Yeah, you never know. I got a lot
I'm
of
kind of
chairs in here.
scared. Yeah.
Out of nowhere, Swanton Bomb. Ian's here, of course. Joe Mano, who's here from the Discord announcement. Yes. Yuri's here, who said that this is manufactured. And I don't think this hatred you have for me is manufactured. I think you really don't like me.
Oh yeah,
And
no,
you
it's very
want
genuine.
it's very shit. Sudmaster Ola, how's it going? Oh, that's good. Hey, did we ask you that? I feel like
I
we did
saw
ask.
that in the chat, so I came prepared.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, see, I can't hate
Honestly,
on that
so
because you have every flavor of it.
right. Yeah, so I have the full thing. Honestly, so I got excited about the white gold, honestly, when I first saw it. But like it just like the way that the gold kind of tint on the black, it just like it looks like somebody just put a sheet over it or something. So I didn't really like
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And the pink one honestly doesn't look too terribly pink. It's more like copper. But I'm a traditional gold guy myself, honestly.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, at
Yeah.
least we agree. We agree on that. Frugal Dad, are you ready to rumble? Absolutely. We're going to keep it moving for sure. Ian says premium guards are dumb. All right. Hell yeah. Sean, Anthony versus Joe, round one. Yeah, this is round two now. Sean, what's going
Yeah.
on, Sean? Malaka from Dennis Dunn. Can we say that? Will YouTube mess us up by saying Malaka?
As
Malaka.
someone who played way too much Assassin's Creed Odyssey during COVID, I know exactly what that word means.
That's funny. That's a funny way to know that,
Right.
though. From Assassin's Creed. But I didn't know they went to Greece in there or in
Yeah.
Assassin. I didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is you're protecting the Greek world from the terrible cabal of whoever.
Oh, I stopped playing in Brotherhood when they were in
Oh
in,
yeah,
uh, in Florence.
that was a good one to
Um,
stop on.
was it? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think, or no, I think I played Black Flag too, where they were in like
Oh
the
yeah,
fort.
Black Flag was honestly I think that's one of the best. One of the best
Yeah, that
ones.
was fun. That the whole intro of that game was crazy.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I like Assassin's Creed. In fact, when I was walking, I forgot where I was. I was walking around somewhere. I was like, I feel like I've seen this before. And it must have been a video of the one you played. Like Dylan says, every individual setup is going to be different. Some people just can't afford the annual fees. Some people don't want to afford the annual fees. That's a good point, man. That's a very
That
good
is true.
point.
And I will say that whenever I do have to, re-up, I'm definitely not going to re-up my business platinum, but whenever it comes time to re-up my regular platinum, it's going to be a conversation in my head. But if it's close to what the benefits are now, yeah, it's going to be
Yeah. So let me ask actually. So let's kind of go through your your idea here. So how many premium cards do you have right now? I'm
That's
curious.
a
So
good
I can
question, actually. So I had to go through someone. It depends on what your idea of premium is, right? So is the
yeah.
business gold card with its $375 annual fee a premium card?
Hmm.
Probably, right? But then you have, the Ritz Carlton, and then you got the business platinum, and then you have the regular platinum. Let's see, I gotta shuffle my stuff, and then of
Hmm.
course, Anthony Venture's favorite card, the
Very
Hilton
nice.
Aspire. Yeah.
Yes.
So
So
yeah,
so
I got a
it's
decent amount.
so it's a business platinum, business gold. You have a Ritz.
And then the
You have an
Aspire.
Aspire. So really, just those four? I thought you had more. I thought you had like another, like a personal platinum as well.
Yeah, the
Um,
personal platinum, the business platinum, the Ritz, and
mm,
the Aspire. Sorry. Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. So the business platinum, so you got that for the welcome offer. You said it's going to be a conversation a
Yeah.
year from now, but that's not going to be justifiable for you, right? It can't
No.
be.
So if I did have like a business that actually did a decent amount of spend, the 1.5x multiplier on this for large purchases or purchases at
Mm,
certain stores, like I think Lowe's, Codes, or some office supply stores get 1.5. That's kind of
mm.
huge, honestly. When I paid my taxes with this, I paid 20,000, 21,000 ish in taxes. And,
Oh, wow.
and basically because of that, I ended up getting like 30 something thousand MR points on top of the 250,000 sign up bonus. So I ended up getting
Mm,
280,000 within the first just week of having the
wow.
card. And so
Huh.
that's really a big. Honestly, that's kind of this card's superpower. And I think I did a video on it recently where I compared it to the Blue Business Plus. Now that gets 2 points per dollar, and for those of you that really passed math, two is a little bit higher than 1.5. But the 2% is limited to 50,000, I think, per year, right?
Yeah.
And the 1.5x isn't unlimited. So if you actually
Huh.
have a legit business, this card should be in your wallet. Like if you're like a contractor or something, like yeah, this every day.
Yeah, that
But
is pretty
I'm not a
interesting.
contractor.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting. So yeah, that 1.5, and it's on purchases that are over 5 grand, right, at a time.
Yeah, there is some categories, but the terms and conditions are kind of like amorphous. It's hard to pin down specifically what will
Mm.
code is that and what doesn't. But it's guaranteed for everything above 5,000.
Oh wow. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah, I could definitely see that for contractors and stuff like that. Yeah, you could definitely throw a lot of spend. It's probably why our boy Jim K has a bunch of them,
Oh
bunch of
yeah,
business
I'm sure.
plans for other purposes. But I know he's running a ton of spend for what he talked about in our podcast as well.
That's awesome.
Yuri is asking you, why not Spark or VentureX Business for 2x and everything instead of the 1.5? You don't even have to worry about it. What's the deal?
Well, I'm going to answer
Cheaper
that
card too.
with I'm going to pull out all my coupons. All right. So these are the cards I got in the last year maybe.
Hmm.
So that's why no Ink Train or no Spark, right? Or the Chase ones. But the Spark or Venture X business, yeah, I tried going for the regular Venture X. Capital One doesn't like me very much for that card,
Hmm.
but I haven't tried honestly with the others.
Interesting. Interesting. And Boxer, yes, you did do that in the Discord. That was cool. John hit me the 2 spot. Appreciate you, man. Been listening at the gym. No running errands. Or no running errands. Thank you, John. Appreciate you, man, for that 2 spot right off the bat. Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
that's awesome.
And also congrats on John hitting 1K recently as
Yeah,
well. Everybody hitting 1K.
he
Everybody's
kind of hit it
doing it.
on beast mode real quick, doing those daily drops. He's actually making me look bad sometimes too.
Absolutely. John's always killing us, so thank you for that, sir.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I feel like we didn't do it full justice from the intro.
Yeah, sure.
So I would say, yeah, I will definitely say you mentioned, I think you mentioned a couple things in the intro, like the premium cards and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
okay, just to give it clarity, I did a video why, oh, very, very nice. We'll bring up the Meza, or Meza. So I did a
Whatever.
video talking about why you don't need premium credit cards. Why I
Yes.
don't think it's necessarily necessary. And my whole point was, I've had a platinum card since it was a 550 annual fee. I've held it for many years. I've had like those kind of card, like Amex Gold, stuff like that. And I've looked at, VentureX, and I've looked at the Sapphire Reserves. Never really pulled the trigger on them. Just didn't care enough. But one thing I found over time with the platinum card is like everything that I absolutely loved on the card could be replaced pretty much for free. So in my case, the things that I cared about were like FHR, having access to that program. And I realized that MasterCard has access to the same type of properties, and sometimes in some cases overlapping properties, the same ones, just minus the guaranteed 4 p.m. late checkout. Which still, when I go through MasterCard and I'm booking through like these preferred hotel partners like Hyatt Privé, Impresario, it's like I never had a problem getting late checkout, later of like 2 and 4 and stuff like that. So I like never had an issue asking for that. I don't know about
Wow.
nowadays. I mean, there's some changes since we last spoke about Hilton getting rid of or now starting to charge way more on late
Yeah.
checkouts and stuff like that. We could probably get into.
Hmm.
So I'm not, we'll see if that continues, and then maybe FHR late checkout will be more powerful. I don't know. But I realized Mastercard, any Mastercard really could give you access to that. Then I realized, another thing I cared, well, like really the only other thing that really made sense was like lounge access. And since, and you rightly said in your video, like Anthony's lucky to have some good friends and he can mooch off of with the Ritz AU or the Venture X AU. But I think some people in your comments didn't fully understand. They were like, oh, if he's just like mooching off his friends, how could he say not having premium cards? And I was just like, well, the only thing I'm getting from those cards is Priority Pass. So I was like, that's the only thing. And for most of my recent trip, I didn't even use it. Like half the trip, I didn't even use Priority Pass. I just hung out at the terminal. So I was
That's
like,
right.
I
Yeah.
don't really care. I didn't really care about it at all on this trip. My mind might change in the future. So I was like, all right, the two things that in my home airport, if I ever fly from my home airport, has an escape lounge, which has recently joined Priority Pass. So I was like, okay, if I just have Priority Pass, I have access to at least my home lounge, and I
That is
have
nice.
in
Yeah.
case, yeah, in case there's any layovers, okay, cool, I can go into one. Didn't even, really feel like I needed it this trip. I just did it for the hell of it. And so like those are the only two things on those cards that I really cared about. So I was just like, why even have the card? I can save the 695 on the platinum and I can just get those things itself. Car rentals, again, I don't really do it, but again, I have Hertz Presidential right now just with my build card. And then I get, if I wanted to, I could status match to the other ones if I'm worried about it. So I don't know. I'm just like, what do they provide that you can't get pretty much for free? And you brought up a point of like, okay, car rental insurance and stuff like that. So I could see that. But also, I mean, could you not just like pay for it as well, like from the car rental company? I mean, do you need a card for
Yeah.
that?
That's like what,
Um,
$20 a day, and some of these rental rates, that's double the cost of their rental. Honestly,
yeah.
if you get those protections. But yeah, sure. Are you done? Am I ready to keep going?
No, I'm not done yet. Actually, I'm going to keep
Okay.
going. And
All right.
so I don't know. I'm just looking at all the different I'm just looking at all the different benefits, and I'm really just I don't know what matters. Also, the other thing was Hilton Gold. I was like, Hilton Gold, worth its weight in gold. Okay, now I have a surpass. Now I got that right. So I don't
Yeah.
know. To me, I'm just like, what do I? Why would I need a premium card? A premium card meaning the big three, like VentureX, Platinum, and Reserve. Like I said,
Oh, look at you
Aspire.
cutting out all the good ones.
Well, I want 10 Aspire. I have no issues with the Aspire. I like the Aspire
Yeah.
Ritz. Give me 10
Well,
Ritzes
that's
and
a
give me
premium
10
credit card.
Aspires. Yeah, but it's like I don't look at it that way. I think I look at it as I guess we have to define what a premium card is. For me, it's just like
That's
what
fair.
Cesar would say. It's like one card that can encompass like a wide range of your travel experiences, like car rentals, lounges, access to hotels, stuff like that. Um, Maybe that's not the right definition, but I don't know. That's my thought. That's
Okay.
my stance. Why do
I
you
can see
think
that.
I need a premium card? Having said all that.
Yeah, definitely. I actually found my regular platinum card, so we're gonna
Oh, nice.
talk about this. So, um, all right. So yeah, so you have access to the lounges, right? And this gives you access to lounges, but if you're an authorized user on the Ritz-Carlton card, you have access to Priority Pass and the Sapphire Lounges, right? I don't think there's anything else in there, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we
Okay.
have access to the Maple Lounge or yeah, I don't think so.
Right. We don't have access to the Maple Leaf Lounges, which,
Yeah.
was a decision. But anyway, so here's the thing. One of the great things about having multiple access to multiple different kinds of lounge networks is that it gives you options. Like if I were flying through Atlanta, then I would rather have the platinum card than priority pass. Because if you're flying through Atlanta, you're going to the club, and that's all the way on the other side of the airport. And so you're riding that plane train for the full, 15, 20 minutes. And that, I know that sounds like first world problems, but it can be.
In
And
aerospace
then
is. Yeah.
Right, yeah. But and then so is everybody else. Everybody else is going to the club too. However, because I have the
Yeah.
platinum card, I can either do the Centurion Lounge, and I always check when I fly into Atlanta if I have a connection. I check in the plane if there's a wait list, and if there isn't, then I look to see, all right, what Sky Club is good next to where I'm going to be flying into, right? And so honestly, having those access points are good because honestly, a lot of the times in my hierarchy, like priority pass lounges are down here, bank lounges are going to be here, and then some of the airline lounges can be a little bit higher, some of them can be a little bit less, but it's going to be like mixed. But having that access to those different programs is kind of a big deal because, like, for instance, my wife and I are flying into DCA, but we're flying out of Philadelphia on our next trip. And so because I have both cards, I have access to the Sapphire Lounge and the Centurion Lounge. And because I have that, that means that if one's more busy than the other, all we do is just go to the other one. And so having that is really great. But the other thing that kind of needs to be said about this card, and I think someone said it on one of my videos, and I forget if I'm sorry if I forgot whoever said it, but the fact is, like, some of these cards, I'm going to say encourage because that's a gentler word, but they can push you to have these nicer experiences. Like, I think you're one who always says the only reason people use FHR is because there's a $200 FHR benefit on the card every year, right? But the fact that it's
No.
there,
No,
what? Oh, is that
I
what
mean,
you're saying?
I think the only reason they use well, my stance is I think everybody should use those programs. I think they're good. I think just not everyone
Yeah,
uses it past the $200 credit.
that's fair. Yeah. But the fact that I was able to do that, like the fact that I had that meant that I was able to, like, oh, we're going to West Palm Beach. Let's just go down to Fort Lauderdale and stay night at the Conrad and, experience something really, really awesome, and having this card made that possible in a very real sense. So having that's really good. So you have options, you have the ability to kind of experience things you wouldn't experience in a normal day. And honestly, like, if these cards do match up with your spend, like, so I use the Uber cash benefits, I use the airline benefits, I use FHR, and then the entertainment benefits because we use Peacock and Disney Plus. Pretty much like the annual fee is covered with spend that I'm doing anyway. And so why wouldn't I want to have this card that gives me access to all these great things when, it makes my travel just feel a little bit better.
I can see that, and that was my point for many years. I think my point was it gives you access to these programs. It gives you the ability to stumble across them, or in some cases when you have to use some of these credits, you're like, okay, now I have to use it, and that's how I've experienced some of the best things I've ever experienced was that just like having credits to use, and then I used that in the best way possible, and it became a vacation or something like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. The one thing I found over time is like, like that stay you talked about in Fort Lauderdale, like that likely could have been done with MasterCard as well. So you didn't need, a
I did get
$700 card
$200 off that
to
room though,
do.
which was nice. But
Wait,
yeah,
how'd you
no, fair
wait?
point.
200
Yeah.
from
The
FHR, you
FHR
mean?
benefit. Yeah.
Oh, the credit. Yeah. Well, I mean, you prepaid that when you paid the annual fee of 700. You paid 200 into it. That membership
That's
to get
fair.
the 200 back. It's a little bit of
All that
Shelby.
making sense thing. Yeah.
Right. But with MasterCard, I didn't have to pay anything. I could just have a built card or Freedom Flex, and then I could choose that program. Yeah, I got to pay cash, but you could also like cash out points if someone really didn't want to. And I still get the $100 credit. I'll still get breakfast credits, $60-$80, something like that. So I still get the credits if I ask them a little bit, but hopefully they'll give me late checkout. So I'm like, there's no real difference in the programs other than just more like different options, like just different options of programs because they don't all overlap and stuff like that. So that's kind of my rebut there. And I just feel like, I don't know, I think there's some costs that we don't fully acknowledge in the moment, but it feels good in retrospect. And I think it makes sense in retrospect. But I don't know, over time, I started thinking about it. I was like, okay, well, obviously, if you do the FHR programs, I'm comparing that to MasterCard. They're all, expensive. Not all of them, but a lot of them are expensive. So I'm not too worried
Yeah.
about after, I like those programs. Some people don't. So I don't really care about overpaying on those a little bit because you get so much back. But what about lounges? Like, I remember I'd be like, okay, Centurion's great or Delta Sky Club's great. But every time I travel with my wife, $50 to get in here, $50 to get in there. Like it adds up over time, over the
You
course
don't
of the
have your wife
Vegas
as an
trip.
authorized user on your card?
Well, I mean, then I have to pay another $200. And like, am I hitting these lounges more than 4 times to justify the $50? Like if you don't, so you do have an authorized user. So
Oh
you're
yeah.
paying 195 for her.
Well, and the reason why is because, so my wife's an authorized user on my Platinum card. And the reason why is because, first of all, she does a lot of travel for her work. And so
Mm,
she'll be traveling solo without me. And, honestly, like there was one time when she was in Charlotte, and there was a delay, and so they were stuck. She was there with her boss, and it would have been she didn't have it at the time, but it would have been really cool to just be like, hey, like just go into the Platinum or the Centurion Lounge, right?
yeah,
So she does have that access now, which is important to me.
nice.
And then also too, she stays at hotels a lot when she's on those business trips. And
Mm,
this is my way so I can actually give Hilton Gold status to my authorized users. And so, basically this is the way that she can get that without having to have her own card. And she is a very willing player too. She definitely does, like, she's, if she has a big purchase, she asks me, what card do I need to use? Which portal do
mm,
I need to use? That kind of thing. But at the
yeah,
end of the day, like, giving her a bunch of cards is going to be a little bit too much stress. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And so just having her as an authorized user is a great way to do that without kind of making things too complicated.
For sure, and I will say, for your lifestyle, and with the way you both are traveling, even independent to each other, I mean, to me that makes a lot of sense. And to me that means, you guys are both using lounges enough, and it obviously means enough to you from where you're flying out that you're always in Atlanta, to justify all of that for sure. So I think that's great. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. My wife, we don't travel anywhere as separate. Well, because she doesn't have a job that requires it. Yours does. So we pretty much just travel all the time. Always. So always in my calculations, I'm always thinking like, always me plus her together only.
Oh yeah,
times X
I
amount of
got you.
trips.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty great. But why does she need an authorizer? Can you just like tell her to sit in the terminal and not worry about could you imagine?
All right, so
Stay outside
I
the
kind
terminal.
of screwed up in reverse, and my wife tells me this all the time. So our first big international trip, we went to London. We stayed at the Conrad in London, and
Nice.
then we stayed at right down the street from the Eiffel Tower. It was across the
Mm,
way, but nice little view of the Eiffel Tower. Like, we did it in style. When we did the Eurostar, we did it in business class, right?
mm.
So that's kind of like up the bar a little bit, right? So whenever she's flying, the Chili's is not good enough, right?
Chili's.
So she needs to have that quiet place to work and get stuff done, because she makes a lot more money than I do, and she deserves all the peace and quiet she can get.
Yeah, tell her to get a platinum and add you as the authorized user. Then that's how it should be.
Right there, you go.
That's funny. So that's what was I just about to say? I forgot what I was just about to say on that moment. But that's, yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, to have those premium experiences for sure.
And I
And
did
all that.
actually want to go back to what you were saying about the Mastercard benefits compared to FHR or
Yeah.
THC. So one of the things that is nice about the American Express experience, the fact that they're involved in this, means that if a hotel fails to live up to those expectations or those commitments that they've made as a partner, you have a third party to go to. Whereas, like, if with MasterCard, like, yeah, you do have that. But I feel like they have less skin in the game than American Express would, unless you have different experience.
It's tough. I see what you're saying, and I definitely think FHR is more like the most prestigious, and it's like
Yeah,
to have
certainly.
any negative reviews on their end, to be kicked out of that program, I think is devastating a little bit. Not devastating, but pretty. It's much bigger on the hotel side.
Yeah,
MasterCard, I think, is a little less. I don't know. I guess in people's minds, I think the hotels are less worried about it, but still big. MasterCard's gigantic. I just don't think
yeah,
that many people are using that program compared to Amex's FHR.
yeah.
Um, but they
Amex's
do.
FHR has a huge marketing budget.
Oh yeah, I mean, every time I'm watching Hulu right now. I have freaking or YouTube. I have ads for fine hotels or resorts. They're like, "Oh, use your business platinum, and you have access to luxurious experience." And they show like dining out and like basically all food related things. I'm like, what are you talking about with your business platinum card?
People like to eat. Yeah.
like, come on, man. Um,
Honestly,
yeah,
if
but
they did like a special, like a built thing where they had like you could
yeah,
get a special dining multiplier on the platinum through like a Resi restaurant or something, I would be happy
mhm,
about that. But
yeah. I think that'd be
if
sick.
Amex is listening to me,
I just want to have like the Visa dining collection on this new reserve with the dining credit. Like I like the idea of the Visa dining collection. I've talked about it in the past, but like frequently, if you use their partner restaurants, like you call up Visa, be like, hey, I'm book a reservation on my behalf for this Visa dining collection. They'll oftentimes, well, if you go through the list, it'll tell you like. Um, I don't know, they're special or like a recommended food for that place. And then it'll be like, oh, free wine or free dessert with your purchase. All those different things. I'm like, that'd be sick if I think actually Amex used to kind of have that kind of pull. Like I did one Resi restaurant via having the concierge book it for me and I got free wine, but I don't know if
oh,
it's
nice.
a like a stated real benefit. Like I don't know. I don't really know if it's a stated thing.
They're probably trying to offshore that as much as possible. So
Yeah.
the customer service
Um,
thing.
For sure. And I'll transition this a little bit as we go forward, but I just want to mention Philmo. Here to say Phil's rule, Tony's drool. Unreal. Back on the
He's got a
playground with
point.
Phil.
He's got a point.
I'm not
It
drooling.
rhymes, so it's more important. Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, I'm a little bit drooling. I'm still coughing from my stupid sickness.
Yeah.
And I can't get rid of the
But also,
cough. Thank
YouTube
you, Phil.
Premium is a lifesaver. That is the last streaming service that I will give up.
Damn. Well, thank you, Phil, for that 5 spot, man. That means a lot as well. And Ian says, you have ads? Come on, bro. Thank you, Ian. Yeah, man, I'm not paying for premium. Streamer doesn't have premium. Oh my goodness. I'm not buying premium. Oh my god, MR, so you can I'm not doing it. People have been trying to get me to have YouTube Premium for years, and I've been
Okay,
fighting people on
you
this.
get access to YouTube Music, and that's really just like
What is that? I
the
don't listen. I have
perfect. It
Spotify.
sucks. Don't get it. Yeah, no.
Oh,
I
I didn't
have it for
realize.
free, and I don't use it.
Ah, oh my goodness. MR and Ian, thank you for contributing to the premium funds. I don't,
Yeah, totally.
but I don't want to buy it. It's no. I like the ads. I'll sit there for a second. I'll look around. I'll come on, Mike.
Okay, you got to get it now.
Mike.
All right, screen share right now and
Oh
sign
my
up for
god, I have to
YouTube
buy it
Premium.
right. Mike, MR, Ian,
Live the good
everybody.
life.
I don't
Oh,
think it's the good
also,
life.
just as a side, when I was watching your Grease video, it's an amazing video. If you haven't seen the full thing, you have to watch the
Thank you.
entire full thing. This guy is a masterclass in telling a story, and boy, can he do it. But I got to tell you, man, if you're bringing your wife overseas, don't do economy, premium economy, or up. Like,
I won't fight you on that. Having gone through the experience, yeah, 100%. I'm like, it's PE or bust from now on. It really, I mean, I will say, Bulkhead coming back on KLM it was doable. It was a lot more doable. Like if it's anything, it's got to be Bulkhead.
yeah, I
Because
got you
we had
there.
our makeshift business, just like lean back a little bit, and that was fine. That was fine. But yeah, 100%. Yeah, PE or busts. For sure.
Yeah.
Um, so what the hell? Okay. I can't. I did not think this would turn into a YouTube premium fund. But no, there's a lot of little things like this over there. People get mad at me when I tell them like I don't think I should. People should be buying it. Um, So, oh god. Well, thank you, Mike, for the premium funds, and MR for the premium fund. Ian, technically, the premium. Thank you, guys. That means a lot. Thank you very much. Oh goodness. Mike says, I'm with Phil. Last thing I'll give up is YouTube Premium. Ian says, did you hear Luke call you out for talking about economy? No. I'm sure he
I didn't hear.
has.
I don't know. Yeah.
He always has something. But no, I mean, look, there was really nothing else I could have done. If I could have done it, I would have. But a last second trip, that's what was available with the miles I had. And it was
That's
fun.
fair.
I also wanted to kind of do economy. Part of me was like, let's just see what it's like to do like 8 or 9 hours, just to kind of talk from that experience, at least in the future, if it's going to be a lot of higher ups from now on. So at least could mention what it feels like. I just never
That's
really.
true. You have more
Just never
experience than
really
I
did
do.
it.
So
Hey, look at that! Look at that! More
yeah.
experience with the economy.
Oh,
That's
there you go.
funny.
Trade in the Tesla and get YouTube Premium. I think that's
It's the only way I can afford it, man. The hell, I'm
yeah.
like bankrupt on everything. What the heck? I'm waiting for Tesla to fully like roll out the robo taxi so I could just like send it out and start making money while I'm just sitting here doing nothing.
Honestly, when they
Um,
first pitched that, I thought that was the coolest idea. Like your car is making you money. That seems cool.
It would be sick. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited. Ian says, I respect you for getting the experience. Thanks, Ian. I mean, technically, if I had a choice, I probably would have, but I think, did I have a choice? No, I don't think I really had. I think I did, but it would have been like, I wouldn't have had enough miles. Would have to buy miles. I was like, screw it. Let's just do economy. Let's just see what
Yeah.
it's like. Um, August says, Anthony, do you feel economy is too much for that long of a trip? I will say, like I said, in bulkhead, it was doable. Like it was doable when you get the seat back and you have, I could stretch my legs fully out and you have a suitcase you can like sit, put your legs on. You got the screen and everything. Like, yeah, that was nice. Yeah, that was fine. I did pay a little extra cash for that, and I think that was worth it. But yeah, honestly, I don't know. I guess from now on, just like everybody says, like after, well, at least for me, I guess after 8 hours, I guess, or whatever, 7 hours, it's probably going to be premium economy, I would say.
It's a long time to sit down in the same place. But I'm on the larger side of large, so I need some wiggle room. Luke
Are
is
you
a little
really?
bit more large on the arm section. He's got those guns, but yeah.
I have to meet you in person. I don't know how you actually look in person. My thought was you were probably like, well, you look like you could probably be like 6'4".
I appreciate that. I'm 6'3", but six
Oh
three and a
wow.
half maybe on a good day. So.
Damn it! So we can't do this boxing match. I'll get wrecked. What the hell? You got too much reach. I mean, I have long arms, but it's
Hey, reach matters, honestly, especially
yeah,
with that steel chair.
yeah, yeah. I need to get out of arms distance from you. I can't let you get close. Um, let's see here. Oh, Edward did his first windmill this morning. It was trippy. That's awesome.
Hey,
That's
that's
freaking
awesome.
sick. That's great. Box says, well, maybe it's different for me. I also drive for a living too. For the Waymos and stuff like that. I feel like I lost something. Premium will change your world. Premium economy. Hell yeah, man. I'm excited for it. Film says, Film will pay $6.95 a lounge access, but I will watch all the ads YouTube throws at me. See, that's where you're saving. That's where you're saving money.
Yeah.
What do you
It
think
is
about
funny.
this?
Sorry, go ahead.
What do you think about this guy? Says build card has primary rental coverage.
I did not know that. That's nice. If that is in fact the case, that's a solid option. Yeah.
So that's a free card, right?
Yeah, that is but it's metal, so it's a premium card. So I actually won.
Come on, it's metal. So I mean, just to really solidify it. So I mean, your whole premium experience with car insurance technically is kind of covered, right?
I wonder what the rental coverage limits are on that.
I mean, we could look it up.
Yeah,
we could probably
because I know the Ritz is what 75,000 or something like that, and then the premium Amex is 85. I want to say.
Really, this guy. I mean, I just looked here real quick. Let's see, built rental cars up to 50K. Up to 50K.
Is it? Okay. All right. So I mean, most rental cars are going to be under 50K unless you're getting upgraded for free because you're amazing.
So okay, so look, I think there's a lot of. I think maybe you're just a little mistaken, man. I think you can
I
do
could
all the
be.
things for free. I think all the things that you want. You know what sucks though? You know what I thought about during all this, like over the last couple of years? I was like, man, Delta Sky Club's cool. Well, actually, you know what? I do have another rebuttal for you. So you mentioned
Okay.
that your um you mentioned that you're, always flying through Atlanta and stuff like that, and you need to have access to those sky clubs or Centurions and whatnot. But what if like you're, bankrupt on some Delta miles? I mean, what's the deal? You know, what's the deal if like you ever run out of Delta miles? I mean, you're not really going to get much benefit of the sky clubs anymore, right?
Then what you do in what I do all along, because they're a lot more powerful than Delta miles, is you transfer your Capital One, your Chase points, your City points to Air France or Virgin. Air France is a little bit better, and then you book that same Delta flight.
Whatever. Unbelievable. I thought I really had him there. That was part of my thing. I was just like, well, a lot of the trips that I have coming up won't be through Atlanta.
Oh yeah,
Whereas in the past it was always through Atlanta, and that was my main justification. I was like, got like 9 sky clubs. I'm gonna run, and I would go to all,
yeah.
all hit them all up, and so I thought that was a great use case for it. But a lot of them are going to be out of a few other airports like JFK, Charlotte, O'Hare, and stuff like that. So I'm just like, I'm
Oh,
going to be pulling
and I
through.
actually did have one interesting data point that I wanted to add to
Yeah.
that. So I ended up paying to bring my buddy into a Sky Club on our last trip to Louisville, and when I paid for it with my Platinum card and I got the reimbursed from the airfare thing, they printed out a little receipt, and it said that his visit was good for 24 hours too. So I didn't know that. I thought it was just per occurrence, which is nice.
Yeah, that's a recent change. It used to be per, and then they recently changed it to, I think it was in the new year. They changed it like
Okay.
January 1st, and it was like now it's like as many sky clubs as you can hit within a 24-hour period, which is pretty sick. Like that's actually pretty
Yeah.
beneficial. But with that, I guess they limited the amount of times you can go total, like 15 per
Oh,
year
okay.
with the platinum or
Oh yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah.
Whereas
We're
in the
gonna have to do
past
a
it was
bar
just like
crawl in
infinite.
Atlanta.
That would be funny. Let's all scan our tickets. Oh, and you know what sucks is like I remember years ago when I was looking at Sky Club, I was like, "Wow, that's pretty cool." I wonder if there's because I've and during that time when I was a little less in it, I was just kind of getting into the whole get lounge game. I was like, I want I've heard that you can buy lounge access direct, and I was like, let's see how much it is to buy Delta Sky Club access for a year. Like literally just if you want to buy Sky Club access without needing any credit cards whatsoever, you just have access. Do you know how much? Do you actually know how much it is? Have you ever looked it up?
I want to say it's between 450 or 595, something like that. Is it more?
Unless it's changed. Last time I checked was 2 years ago. Literally, it's $695, like the exact
Really?
same
Oh,
price
oh
as a
wow,
platinum
that's
card,
right. I forgot they did that.
which
Yeah.
is hilarious. I'm like, bro,
Yeah, because they
just
want you to get the
then you
card,
just
you know?
just get the platinum card. What's the point of buying that lounge access? But it would be like that
American
would be
does that
sick.
too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think their annual like lounge access is about similar to their whatever their top tier card is. I forgot what it's called. Something
Mm.
crazy because American Advantage doesn't know how to name products.
That's so that's pretty interesting. It would be sick though if it was like Sky Club is I don't know, you can pay 150 a year and you have like 20 passes or something. Like that'd be pretty cool. Then I could see like justifying it.
Yeah,
But yeah, 695. No,
that's a lot.
no,
Yeah.
unfortunately not. Especially since I don't know if you even said this or if I missed it, but when with your platinum card with your $200 airline credit, do you use that for Sky Club access sometimes? Or oh no, well she's the
I
AU, so you don't have to.
Right, yeah. So I don't use it for her. I just use it this time because I still had some left on my Delta side. So I use my personal one is Delta, and my business one is United for the travel bank.
Nice.
Um, and but yeah, so I use it for that this time because pretty much I've just been using it on the like the rent, or the points redemption, like taxes and fees, and that's been pretty
Yeah.
good for using that.
Hmm.
Wow,
Definitely,
Filmo's got a
definitely.
record: 7 Sky Clubs in 3 cities in 24 hours. That's amazing.
That's pretty impressive. Mine probably is.
How many showers in that 7 Sky
Whoa.
Clubs?
Absolutely. Let me see. How many Sky Clubs in 24 hours? I think I've probably hit, as far as only Sky Clubs, I think I did maybe 4 in 24 hours or
Okay.
something like that. It might have been like a few. I think it's like a few in Atlanta, one in Vegas, and maybe I
Oh,
forget if
okay.
Detroit has a Centurion. I think I can't remember anymore. I forgot where I
Do they?
was. I don't know. Maybe that was a Sky Club and Centurion was elsewhere. I
I don't think I've
can't
ever
remember.
flown out of Detroit, so I wouldn't know.
I forget. Oh, God, it's terrible.
Yeah.
MR says 24 Sky Clubs in 7 cities in 3 hours. Huh? Ha! Is there even that many Sky Clubs? What the heck? Oh my God. They
well,
pay
you're halfway
cash.
there if you just include all the ones in Atlanta.
All right. Well, yeah, true. Detroit is a great. Maybe that was. Yeah, I
Oh, does it?
forgot.
Okay.
I don't
It's
remember
good to
which one
know.
it was.
We're all going to have to go to Detroit next meetup.
Yes, that's the next one. Dennis is in for the bar crawl. We know you are, Dennis. You're the. I want to go. I want to go meet up with Dennis in Manhattan. He dresses up for St. Patrick's Day. I want to
Oh,
go
there you
hit. I
go.
want to go crazy out there.
Yeah.
For sure. Life on Earth says nice to go to the Sky Club when you land too. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you are traveling like after a long flight and like maybe you're early and your hotel won't let you check in or something, being able to just kind of relax for
Yeah.
a little bit is kind of a
Legit.
big deal. Yeah.
That is big. Yeah. If you can just hang out, relax, you get some food and stuff. I will say, I did rag on lounge food for most of them. Um, Even the nice Plaza Premiums I went to in London and stuff is okay, but the food was like, eh. Sky Clubs, I do like their stuff. Nothing like too amazing, but it's got the rice, and I
Yeah.
remember making some like tacos and stuff, and one of them, it's
The
like
paper
just like, hey,
plates are giving like major ick. Like it's weird eating out of a paper plate and you're like sitting next to like the VP of sales for some regional paper company or something. It's like,
yes,
okay.
yeah. I'm really interested to kind of go through because you mentioned then I forget who else mentioned, but like airline lounges being like the highest end. Like I'm really excited for that. Um, like I have this flight coming up in JFK in a couple months. I'm going to be able to hit a Sapphire Lounge and see what that's all about out there. And
Nice.
then I have an Emirates Business Lounge or just Emirates Lounge,
Oh, that's going to
JFK
be
too. So,
awesome.
but somebody told me the Sapphire Lounge is better. I think it was Ian. But
Okay.
I'm excited to just see what that Emirates Lounge is all about
I'm
as
actually going to my
well.
first Sapphire Lounge in Philadelphia, so I hope it's a good experience.
Nice, nice. I think people mentioned that's like, isn't that the biggest one? The one in Philadelphia?
I
Uh,
think the one in
or Boston?
is the one in Boston supposed to be pretty big? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that might
And
be
I
the
think the
one.
Centurion Lounge they're building in Boston is supposed to be the biggest one now, bigger than the one in Atlanta.
Really?
I think
Jeez,
so. I think I read that.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Cesar Joel, two legends. Appreciate you, Cesar. Appreciate
Thank
you,
you,
man, for
Cesar.
being here. Sleeper Rod, isn't the over premium cards forever? I wouldn't say forever. I wouldn't say forever, but at least for right now, it just doesn't make sense to me to have premium in my definition of like the big three. I would say the Venture X, the Platinum, or the Reserve. Um, the Aspire, though. So I mean, I was going to bring it up a little bit later, but this is something that I've been really thinking about a lot, like an insane amount the last couple of days or last couple of weeks, and I'm just like, man, I just feel like obviously the caveat of you have a lot of points from a lot of different ecosystems and stuff. Like I already gained a lot of ecosystems and I'm still like getting a lot of welcome offers and stuff like that. Like in my mind, I'm like, okay, I have enough to cover flights and stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm just in my mind, I'm like, why not kind of go all in with a bunch of Hilton Aspires, at least in its current form? I'm just like, man, I want like
The
5 of
Amex
them. I
rule
want like 10
is
of
the
them.
biggest problem. But yeah, that
Yeah,
would
I
be
mean,
honestly between player two, you could have 10 if you didn't
yes.
care about Delta cards or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about getting one myself because I am about to destroy my Hilton business card because I've had it for the
What?
year. It was nice, but oh, Anthony's dying.
I'm
Yeah,
good.
are you okay? You good?
I'm just muting
So
when I have to cough. Yeah.
okay. All right, everyone pray for Anthony. But so the Hilton business card I'm getting rid of
Thanks.
because it's been nice, but between this and the business platinum card, I have two cards with quarterly Hilton bonuses, and it's just too much. So I'm going to close this one, and then I'm going to try to get the sign up bonus for the Surpass. And if they don't give it to me, then I might just downgrade my current Aspire to the no annual fee one, and then reapply for the Aspire, and then upgrade that one. That way I'll have
I
two.
see. Yeah.
I don't know. If there's a better way, tell me. in the comment section, but I think that's the best way to do it. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Aspire is definitely fire.
it's really just it's the Aspire is fire. We all aspire to have Aspires. Texas, we have 2 Aspires and 2 Surpass cards, which equals 4 free nights, equals great vacation. Um, yeah,
That's
I'm just
awesome.
like, man, I'm just like endgame, man. I just feel like I can get so much value out of many, many Aspires. Right now, I have technically 3 slots. Me and my wife both have 3 slots open that could be converted to Aspires. We have 2 Surpasses and we have 4 no annual fee Hiltons at the moment. So they could all be converted. I gotta have 6 Aspires tomorrow if I wanted, um,
There you go.
and upgrade them all, which would be pretty cool. But I don't think I could justify it at the moment. But I'm just like, man, 5 Aspires. What is that? Is that am I doing the math right? Is that 2750 on the annual fees or no? Is it a
So
little
it's
bit off? Let me see.
550.
550
So
times 5, 2750. Yes. So
okay, yeah,
2750. I mean, just alone those 5 free night certificates, like
yeah,
I
because
could do
it's
so much
unlimited.
damage with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Conrad down here in Orlando, like on a summer night, is like $800 $900 a night for a base room. And as
Jeez.
long as their standard room availability is kind of sketched during the summer, but if you could find the standard room availability, that's essentially $5,000 off of a hotel stay. Up to
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
That's the maximum range, but it's nice.
Not even to mention if you could double dip on that resort credit, if it happens to be, a resort as well, it's like, damn,
Yeah.
like what the heck? Now somebody asked, had a comment earlier. I forget exactly who it was. I can't really find it right now, but they said, what would Amex have to do to nerf the Hilton Aspire, in our opinions? Like, what would they have to ruin for the Aspire to be like, oh, it's now it's
Monthly
trash?
rideshare credits. That ruins everything it touches.
That's true. Once it hits that, then it's all over, right? For me, I'm just like, if they got rid of, if they started changing the way the free night certificate operated, I would say, yeah, that would be trash. Like if all of a sudden they started being like, I don't know, instead of a standard room award, it would be free night certificate up to 80,000 points, like exactly as
Oh
like
yeah.
how like the Ritz is 85K cert or something like that. Like if they
Mhm.
started doing that, it would still be cool and valuable. I just wouldn't care as much, because especially with this whole SLH partnership now, I'm just like,
Yeah.
I mean, I used 2 free
And that's the
nights
thing is
on
they
2
offer standard night
hotels.
availability too. Like there's a castle in
Yep.
Scotland I'm definitely going to be staying at next year, and it's going to be a free night.
Yeah, and literally, like, I don't know what it is, but I've been noticing more often at the SLH is that a couple of properties that I used my free nights on, it wasn't just like the lowest end room, like also suites they were
Yeah.
allowed, or like higher, like there's ones that would be like, like what was the one in Lugano was like 800 a night, or no, it
Mhm.
was like 1,000 a night. But then there was actually another room you could still use a free night on that was like 1,400 a night, something like that. It's like a higher end room.
Wow.
I'm like,
That's
that happened a
amazing.
couple times. It's like the value is just ridiculously powerful. Um, and one thing that I actually thought was funny, and we could probably both talk about it, is so Mike Dillon says if you're going to carry all those Hilton cards, uh, I guess do you need to do more timeshare meetings? And I've been going
You
ham
can
with the
never have too many
timeshares.
Hilton points.
Yeah, exactly. You're always going to need some timeshare meetings. But I remember laughing in my mind. I was thinking when I did my recent timeshare in Hilton Head, maybe a month ago, I remember the guy talking to me about a certain package that would have been, I don't know, maybe like 5K up front. And then what did he say? About, I think like 2 grand a year in monthly maintenance, HOA fees, and stuff like that to maintain your membership with the timeshare. So it's like a 5K investment, 2,000 a year reoccurring, something like that, and then you have access to enough points to get you like, I don't know. He mentioned I think 5 nights at that particular property in Hilton Head, and like a few others 5 nights. But in the back of my head when he's mentioning that, I was like, well, wait a second, couldn't I just get 5 Aspires? That's 2750 a year, so it's just like a little bit more, or maybe on par with the
Hmm.
HOA fees on that, and I could use that anywhere for 5 nights in
That's
the
true.
entire world. And I
That's
was like,
very
what the
true.
hell? Why would I even
And some
worry
of those
about
Hilton
it being
Club
an honor?
properties are not that bad. Like there's one on Fifth Avenue in New York City that you could still use those award availabilities at, which is nice.
Yeah, yeah, it's like not necessarily barring you. Now, I will say some of them, yeah, the prices are exorbitant for points and stuff. I guess they really covet it. But yeah, you're
Hmm.
right. You can easily book some of them with regular
Yeah,
points. So it's always funny to me when they pitch these packages, and I'm like, man, just a bunch of aspirers can solve that issue, and with way more. And that's just the free night alone, not even talking the credits and whatever else.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely. I think if
hmm,
they went to the resort credit to quarterly, I think that would kind of break it a little bit because it's easy
hmm.
to come up with a way to spend that every 6 months. Every 3 months would be a little bit harder. I feel like there'd definitely be some more breakage there.
Yeah, if there's like 100, yeah, like 100 every quarter, yeah, I could
Yeah,
see that. I could see that. We've talked about it in the past, but how are you using your resort credits like kind of as of late?
awesome. Yeah. So let's see, where did I use the last one at? So, okay, so the first one, so I had this card for almost a year, the Hilton Aspire card. So I've had two resort credits, about to have another one in another
Nice.
couple days. And so the first one I actually used at, let's see, where did I go? I actually, yeah, I booked it at the Waldorf in Orlando, and I actually did it for both nights at the Waldorf in Orlando
Oh,
because you
wow.
can find some nights for around 250, and that's really nice. It's like Monday on like a random day in February or something, but it's
Hmm.
it's it's solid. And it's a nice little staycation, and so that's how I've been using it. And yeah, like you could argue, like, am I forcing myself to use it? Yeah, but I'm still staying at the Waldorf. They still have those wonderful little like personalized water bottles, and still have the guy that brings you your stuff, and it's a nice property.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's. I still got to make it out there one of these days for sure.
yeah.
Um, Dennis on Hill Timeshare Salesman tried to give me a point deal, and I still said no. Oh, he tried to like give you more points and stuff. That's funny. Give me a point deal, and I still said no. I was talking to Mike Newland the other day, and he was telling me that we were talking. I hope you don't mind me saying this, but it's nothing. I mean, I did the same thing. I didn't really like the hotel that I was at least initially at the
Oh yeah.
timeshare meeting, because the meeting wasn't at the property that they were doing, the property that I stayed in. So they gave me
Oh, okay.
a Hampton Inn, and then we went to the Grand Vacation Club for the timeshare. It was like a drive away. But I was like, and before we really stayed there, I was like, what the hell is this? Shouldn't you be putting your best foot forward to get this to sell me on the
Yeah.
package? So I complained a little bit about it. I was like, could you move us over there? That'd be cool. I didn't really get much from it, but Mike Doolan actually got like an extra certain amount of points. I forget
Oh
just
wow.
because of that. I forget what it was, but they gave him some points. I was like, that's pretty sick. I was like, maybe I
Sorry,
gotta
the
do
room
that
sucks.
next
Here's
time.
some points. All right.
It was like 50K, I think. Maybe it was like, wow, that's
that's
pretty
not
good.
that's not bad. Yeah.
But I thought that was kind of funny. So yeah, so there's that. Oh, Robert got the Hilton Surpass yesterday for the $0 annual fee first year. I can't
Nice.
believe they came out with
That's a
that. I'm
solid
really
deal.
surprised.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
I
that's
kind
really
of, I kind of
powerful.
like that. Like, I feel like that drives a lot of signups for the airfare cards, the ones that do that. So it'll be
Oh
interesting to see
yeah,
if more people do that.
oh yeah, yeah. It was one of the main reasons I got that Delta card initially. It's like no annual fee, no problem. Cool, let's do it.
Yep. That's
Even
why I
the
got mine.
Barclays, yeah, even the Aviator and the City AA business,
Yeah.
both zero for the first year right now. Very cool.
Hmm.
So I want to see. Okay, so we obviously agree to disagree on the platinum, but what do you think about the new? I mean, everyone's talked about the new reserve, but we've had time to digest and whatnot. So, do you have? What's your opinion on the new reserve? Is this a card that you plan on getting? You think this can help your overall setup? Could it replace the platinum for you? Like, what do you think?
Absolutely not. And honestly, the reason why is the Ritz, right? Because I get was 90% of the lounge access and a lot
Yeah.
less of the headache, right? First of all, Chase decided that they don't like me anymore, and the reason why is because I'm firmly in LOL 24, and I can't wait to for you to join us.
Comment.
But my wife does have the preferred that she just got recently with the last 100,000 point offer,
Mm,
and we definitely wouldn't be upgrading to that just because it's the credits. Some of them can make sense, right? The StubHub credit, I definitely could see that. The dining credit, maybe. The travel credit, definitely using. So, like, we're partially there with the new annual fee, But it's just in order to get the rest of the way, like I don't want to have to count, oh, I need to go to the grocery store 2 more times with Dash Pass. Like who wants to do that kind of
Yeah.
crap? Like it's I feel like they took the spirit of the coupon book and were just like, how can we break this in the most corporate way ever? And that's kind of how we got the Chase Sapphire Reserve.
Interesting. So you think, well, I guess with all the changes, do you think it really? Because I mean, personally, I don't know. I didn't really consider it at all in the old configuration, and it's
Yeah,
I
because
don't know.
people were okay with it
It's
being a net positive annual fee, right? Like it had the travel credits, but I think that was pretty
yeah.
much the only thing, right? There wasn't really much other than that, right? Or I guess there was the Dash Pass thing or DoorDash
Yeah,
credits or something like
it's
that, but
still yeah, it pretty much is the same. They just kind of worded it a little bit differently, at least for the DoorDash and stuff like that. But I don't know. I guess to me, it just feels more of like a premium card nowadays, even though most people would disagree. Just because it gives you all the extra things that the Platinum did as well or does as well. Like now you have technically a hotel status. You technically have. It's like IHG, platinum. Okay, cool. But now you have like, I mean, edit was always around, but now you have a credit towards that. It's going to force people to kind of use that credit and stuff. But I don't know. I almost feel like it's
I wonder
more
how
valuable now.
much of a yeah, I wonder how big of a deal the IHG thing is because with IHG you can buy status for very cheap, right? Because it's like what
Mm.
220 or something for the intercontinental status that also includes, I think, a certain level of status. But they give you an
Interesting.
extra weekend night for free when you have that. So it's like if you're going to stay at an intercontinental, it's kind of essentially free. I mean, if we're going to talk about effective annual fees,
Right. Yeah, that was the big thing. Is like, oh, it doesn't even give you, fourth night free too with that platinum. You need like the cards to
yeah.
actually get it done, which is kind of
Hmm.
interesting. I didn't really know that initially. But you just said something intercontinental status. You said 220. Is that like a status you could actually physically buy, or do you mean
Yeah, it's in the
buy
IHG
stays?
app. You can just buy it, and
Oh,
then it gives you. I forgot which level it gives you, but it's a special intercontinental status that gives you like, special benefits with that particular hotel brand. But it also
mm.
includes IHG status as well.
Oh wow. And is that something you did?
I haven't done it.
You
I
went
have it
as
on my list. If we end up going back to Paris, I definitely want to stay at the Intercontinental there, and I'm definitely going to get it
mm.
if we do that. But we don't stay anywhere where there is an Intercontinental, at least for the immediate future.
I see. I see. So maybe I could ask you something. Um,
Sure.
I've been asking a few people their thoughts on this, and I'm trying to make a decision. So right now I'm 424, and my prediction on the new 524 is that it's now not going to determine whether or not you get the card. It's now just going to determine whether or not you get the bonus. So it's like, okay, if I'm 524 or above, okay, you can still get the card, but you're not getting the bonus. That's my
That's true.
personal
Yeah, I have heard people talk
prediction.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my initial thoughts on it. I don't know if that's going to be a thing or not. So my mind is like, okay, before I go LOL 24, I want to get I'm going to maximize my status if I'm going to be here, and I might never return. I may never be below 524 again after this point. I'm serious.
Hmm.
So obviously I'm going to try and get another ink. I'm going to go for a fifth one this week. We'll see what happens.
All
If
right.
that doesn't work, I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm just going to, who cares? I'm going to go for it. But I am thinking of between two cards. So I am
Oh
thinking
yeah.
this IHG One Rewards Premier. It's got the 5 nights at 60K each. And you have to spend 5K in 3 months. So that's fine.
60K actually gets you some decent rooms too, honestly, with IHG.
So that's what I was going to ask you, but I just also want to mention my other option is
Yeah.
the Merry Boundless, 5 free nights at 50K each, which I don't think is as powerful. Same amount of spend. So like between these two cards, I'm trying to figure out which one I should go for. I'm leaning personally towards IHG, but I just don't know the value of those points just yet. So maybe you can tell me, like 60K, is that worth? Like what's that worth?
Yeah.
Like is that getting
It's
phases?
You definitely. So I did a video on this a couple months back, and well, probably one of my first videos a couple months back. But like I
That's true.
looked into this for a couple things, and so IHG, their point system is very dependent on like the actual room rate. So if you're looking
Mm,
for good deals with points, you have to like either go off season, or you're looking at like I'm going to redeem points on Monday and Tuesday, maybe pay for Wednesday or something like that. So I was looking in Edinburgh because my wife and I are going to go with some of our friends next year, and the Intercontinental there, some days that we're going to be there, those free nights would work absolutely. Some nights, some nights the point value goes up to like 80, 90,000. So you can stay in nice properties. You just got to be more selective about the dates. Does that make sense?
Mm. Yeah, yeah, I can see that. So is it still a fairly consistent program, but it's like I guess it's dynamic in the way of whatever the cash price is for that
Yeah, I
particular night.
definitely
So
think
like
there's a
maybe
limit. Like I don't think for
interesting.
certain rooms, I don't think you're going to spend more than say 90,000 or something for like the nice rooms, or the
Hmm.
nice properties rather. Um, so I think there's a limit on the upper end. I don't know if there's a limit on the lower end.
Hmm.
Um, but I was able to find like, in that price range, like some decent properties. And for that matter, honestly, I was able to find last year when I used a couple of the free nights at the Marriott here that's in the same property as a Ritz Carlton. And
Hmm.
I was able to use in the first week of June, I was able to stay a couple nights with those certificates. And I don't
Really
I don't think I had to top them up more than like 2 or 3 thousand points each.
interesting. Interesting. So that was my next question. Yeah, you did those 5 nights. So you used a couple of these free nights for that, right? For
Yeah.
that was in Paris.
Yeah. And I will say because when we first booked our first international trip, I was trying to figure out should I use these free nights in London or in Paris. And interestingly enough, the point values in London for Marriott are just insane. Like
Mm.
for if you're just staying at a Residence Inn, it's like 80,000 points or something stupid. At least it was in
Jeez.
December last year, right?
Yeah.
So I ended up using it in Paris. But it would be nice if they just gave you the points, but you can play ball a little bit. You just got to be smart with it.
Interesting. So I guess if you had to make a snap judgment based on my situation, what would you choose? Which one would you go for? Would you go Boundless? Would you go IHG Premier?
I would do IHG, but that's just because I love Kimptons.
Okay. Okay. Good to know.
But because honestly, Marriott properties, like we talked about this a little bit in one of our
Yeah.
videos. Marriott properties, like they're fine, they're everywhere, but they're just so depressing. Like the
Yeah.
Residence Inns, like it just reeks of like you're either on a work trip or you're been laid off and you're looking for a place to crash for a month. Like it's just
Actually, yeah.
it's just I don't know. I feel like their properties are just very kind of depressing for me. Like, there's what's the not the Garden Inn, but the what's the not Springfield? Is that one? What's the
Springfield is
lower
one,
end?
yeah.
Courtyards.
Oh,
That's what I'm
Courtyard,
trying to
yeah.
think of. Like they're fine, but you don't get anything free. Like you don't like I don't know. It's just their properties frustrate me. Like they're always there, and I'm actually staying at I think at AC in downtown Huntsville. But I don't know. Like it just between if I had my choice, I'd rather stay at an interesting place, and they just don't have a lot of those.
That's kind of what I feel like too. I kind of feel like, well, on one end, I feel like every time I've heard people talk about like really nice stays abroad, they always end up talking about like, yeah, intercontinentals or Sledge loves his Kimptons and stuff like that. So I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, and I feel like those IHG points will go farther, or I should say further. So
Hmm.
I'm just like, yeah, I think IHG is the one I kind of going to go for. But I'm
It's the
just
one
going to
that's
look.
more interesting to me.
Yeah, and I'm gonna look around at the redemption rates, like in other countries and stuff. I still am booking out Japan, so I'm like, if I can supplement a couple of days with that, that'd be cool. Um, Otherwise, I don't even. Yeah, actually, probably just all Hyatt. Otherwise, but I think that'll be interesting. Um,
Dennis makes a good
what was
point.
I gonna ask you?
He said, "Listen, hotels are down to two things: the offer from the card and then the location. Location is important,
Oh yeah.
When my wife and I stayed at the Conrad in London, and it's like right across the street from a tube station, and that was awesome. And then
Hmm.
in Paris, like we chose the Marriott location that was in our points budget for those free night awards, but it was also in a place we really wanted to be in. So yeah, location matters, and honestly, Marriott probably will win that most of the time, unless you really like Holiday Inn and Suites.
Yeah, I could see that. And actually, on your point about Marriott's being kind of like, like at least honestly, from low end to mid end, like pretty much kind of meh until you get to the hot like autographs and stuff. Then you can get to like nice kind of Marriott
Yeah.
locations and stuff. But I actually had a quick little funny thing. Funny anecdote from my trip to Greece. When I was coming back from one of the islands, Paros, back to Athens, we had to take a ship, and the port has a couple of coffee shops and stuff. So we were sitting at one of the coffee shops and just hanging out, and we were just, we were just sitting there and whatnot. There was this family that came over, and they were talking, and we ended up talking to them. We were just like hanging out because we knew they were just kind of traveling. They were from Texas actually, and they were just traveling around. But we were talking about our hotel experiences, and he was like, "Yeah, in Athens we had this like crazy like one. It was like I don't know, there's like parties going on, and they gave you a drink right when you walked in." And my mind started going because we're freaks about the whole hotel game. So I'm starting to think, what brand? Where's he staying?
So it sounds like
And
a
then he's
W.
well, close. He was like, it was a Marriott. And I think I have to ask my wife if I said this first or if he said this, but I'm pretty sure I said, "Is it a Moxie?" first, and he
Oh
said
yeah.
yes. And I can't remember if I said that first or if I can't remember, but either way, it was a Moxie, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's why." I said that's why, and I didn't actually know there was one out there, but I remember we walked towards it, and it's actually in an area that like the locals told us to stay away from. I think it was fine. We were walking around, it was fine, but I remember turning to my right in that area, and I saw with big pink neon sign Moxie. I was like, "There it is, there it
Oh
is." I
yeah.
could see now. Like, it was a busy area, and it's like, yeah, it was just like a party going on. I heard music. It was like a dark hallway. I was like, what the hell? Um, so that's
Honestly,
the only one that
the
has some
properties are
personality. Yeah.
compelling. The Moxies are compelling and like they're cheap, right? They're going to be the cheapest
Yeah.
option you can see. But the problem is that their rooms just look like either a dorm room or a
Yeah.
hostel. Like they're
It's
just like they're
party. Yeah.
weird rooms. They're very tiny. Yeah, it's definitely not supposed to appeal to me. I'm too old, but
Oh goodness. Um, yeah, but I just thought that was so funny. He was like, "Yeah, we're staying at a Moxie." I was like, "Yeah, that's why." That's
yeah.
funny. Uh, Dennis says Marriott resorts in the Caribbean are the bomb. Really good to know.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely good to know. Um,
I haven't been to any resorts in the Caribbean. I'm about to be, but
oh,
a
nice.
couple months. Yeah.
Really? Did you tell me that, or I forget if you told me
Well,
that.
no, for the meetup.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, you're staying in America. Oh, nice. Okay. Um, Devil Cruise Intercontinental is my favorite IHG property. Just stayed at one in San Francisco. Very
Hmm.
nice.
They are
Interesting.
really nice properties.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go IHG. I think I'm gonna go that. Harold says, "Yep, stayed at a Moxie in New York. Definitely felt like a dorm room." It's so funny. Ah, that's what I love, though. That's what I kind of love about
I think
knowing the
one of them
brands.
actually had bunk beds. Yeah, and that is
Really?
true. They do have kind of an interesting brands in some ways, but
Yeah,
in that
they're
way,
just so rare. Like you said, W and Moxie, they have their own personality.
they
Um,
do.
you know, but yeah, Residence, Springfield now. Kirby joining super late. We'll get that 2x speed. Appreciate you, Kirby, man. Sleepy Red, has anyone been approved for IHG over 524 recently since it has an elevated sub? Not sure. I haven't really heard.
Can confidently
Uh,
say 1224 did not work. I was not
oh
approved.
damn. Damn. Maybe I have, yeah, maybe I have seen that in the past where people had issues getting approved over
I
524. I
think
just not
like maybe
sure
like
nowadays.
7 seems to be the magic number. Like if you're 724, maybe. I
Mm,
was 724 when I got my boundless, and I had to I had to email or mail them my like picture of my driver's license or something crazy, but I still got it.
mm, I see. Interesting. I think I'm gonna go for it. Definitely stayed one night at the Moxie in New York City and checked out the very next morning. Definitely not for me. Yeah, it's not for us either. I'm like
Also, that
Philmo. If
one in New
there's a
York City was very bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm like Philmo. If there's old folks in the line to check in, I know I'm at the right place. Yeah, same actually. Yeah, I
Also, if
I
there's a
like to
line for
walk into
check-in, I'm in the wrong place.
if there's just a line at all, I'm in
Yeah.
the wrong place. um, yeah, if I see like suits and gray hair, I'm like, all right, this is it. Like this is it's gonna be a good time here.
Yeah.
That's funny. Um, okay, yeah, because I'm just like, man, Uh, I think IHG is the one before 524 in a business. I just don't think I care about the boundless, and I don't even think I care to get a Ritz, to be honest. I don't even think I do. And I don't know what's going to happen to it. I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm not too worried about it. But again, I have the luxury of key is the problem.
Yeah.
Professor says, "Oh, I'm late. Is anyone seriously injured?" Well, I mean, Phil's a little taller now. I gave him a bump on his head. He's like 6'5" now because I hit him with the steel chair.
Yeah, it's like
But
that's why this,
oh, what the hell!
I got a goose egg going.
We got a goose egg now. And I, the lower half of me is injured. I guess I don't know. I'm on crutches now. I'm always sitting. Dennis says, "If they're older than me, get the hell out of the way." What? Ridiculous. Okay, so that's funny. There was something I wanted to. Oh yeah, here's something that you wrote down that I thought might be interesting because I never really get into this. I almost feel like I never have. I don't think I would have an answer for it. I'll have to think about it when you're answering. But you wrote
Okay.
down once before we were setting this live up, like a little bit ago. You're like, which credit cards would we never get? So I've talked about cards that I had and now no longer want, like the platinum and gold and all that. I'm like kind of done with it.
Hmm.
But I have a hard time thinking about cards that I would never get. Because it's like never's a long time for you to change your mind. It's like I could probably sit here and say like it'll be a long time before I ever care to get a Venture X. Like in my mind, I think never, but I think eventually I'll want to get
Yeah,
the bonus on it. So that could be in 2 years. It could be 10 years. I don't know.
that's true.
Um,
That is a nice bonus.
but is there any card? And I guess as Professor says, Whamskins never get Xbox Mastercard. That's true. That is a card I'll never ever get. There's no need for me to get the Xbox
Doesn't
Mastercard. So
that
that's a
have
good
like a weird
scapegoat.
multiplier on like food delivery services or something? I feel like
Oh,
that was,
that's right. Because that's
yeah.
hilarious. Because it's like if you're gaming all day, man, here
You
I'll
got to
bring it
get
up.
that
Screw it.
monster delivered to your
You
house.
got the Dorito and Monster, yeah, dining delivery services, 3x
Yeah,
support.
there we
Never do
go.
it. Listen, if you're going to be gaming all day, as Phil said, Dorito and Mountain Dew parties all day, all
Uh-huh.
day long. Streaming services. I mean, that's a perfect card for an Xbox player, like
Oh
100%.
yeah. And I think the thing is it only earns in what Xbox dollars or something stupid like that. So
Yes, yes, it does.
so
So
if you
that's
want
a
to get the
good.
expansion pack,
It has like yeah. How would transfer partners work on an Xbox card? Like transfer to PlayStation or something? They would never do that. No, transfer my
no.
points.
There is a PlayStation card too, and it seems like that's actually a little bit better if you're, I don't know, but it's interesting. Yeah, it's a sedentary lifestyle card. That's a good one.
Let's see the PlayStation. 5X. John just did a video on the best card for like gamers too, just yesterday. So it's actually kind of
Oh yeah, that's
apropos.
right.
This one has a sign up bonus of $100 statement
Yeah.
credit when you spend 500 on your PlayStation Visa. In 60 days, you got 5x on PlayStation, latest titles and gear, 3x on streaming and internet, 2x on dining, fuel your gaming with 2x points on including takeout and delivery. Oh wow, look at
And you can
these.
get
Wow.
those, some of those designs are actually pretty cool. I would like some of those designs, honestly.
Damn,
And they're visas. They're
that's
all
premium.
visas.
That's right, and that's a premium card right there.
There you
Um,
go.
roadside protection, all that. Wow.
Emergency card replacement. That is a stated benefit on that card. Look at that.
Emergency card replacement can work with your bank to expedite the replacement or ship it globally. Wow.
Wait, work with your
That's
bank. Oh,
funny.
who is the bank? Do we know?
Oh yeah. Actually Comenity. Yeah, Comenity.
Oh, okay, yeah. All
Yeah, of
right.
course. That's funny.
There
Wow.
we go.
That's very funny.
Actually, what's weird is I've been writing a video and I keep pushing it back because news keeps happening. Talking about the Universal card. The Universal card actually has some interesting benefits. Where they actually, I think when the Epic Universe opened, they actually, if you had the card, you got access passes like to the pre-opening, which was pretty interesting.
That's right. Let me see. Is this the right one?
So, yeah,
F-
there's two, I think. So yeah, the
yeah.
signature I think is the more expensive one. Yeah, it's an FNBO card, which doesn't play nice with max rewards, which I kind of hate. But
Mm.
it's an interesting card if you're planning on being a universal person. Is Chad here? Maybe he can tell
Interesting.
us if he has it.
Chad 100% has it. If there's anybody that would have it, it's Chad Pennycoff.
In
He's
the
definitely
lounge, it
got
has
it.
lounge access. It's a theme park co-branded
Whoa!
card, and it has a lounge access. I
Special
forgot about
access to
that.
lounge located in Universal Studios Hollywood. Well, so you have to compare all the lounges, like
Right?
airport,
Yeah.
and Universal. There's other lounges too, like the ones in Manhattan and stuff, New York City,
Yeah.
the Built Lounge too. Like there's so much. Well, what's this anniversary bonus? You get one single day theme park
You
general
have to
admission
spend
ticket.
6,000 or more though.
Oh, unbelievable! It's
Yeah.
not worth it. It's not worth it then. Getting access to Epic Universe must have been cool. I seen some crazy videos when that opened. I seen
Yeah.
people like hordes of people rushing in and sprinting into Epic Universe. Like, damn, this is kind of crazy. I didn't know it was that
Well, yeah,
big.
in Universal, like the lines were crazy. Like the Velociraptor coaster, like I think it had like a 5 minute wait line when it opened, just because nobody was in the park. I was like, yeah, that's the time to go.
Oh wow, huh?
Yeah,
Did you did go? No, did you? Yeah, you did go. You went there.
I haven't gone
Or
to
no, you
Epic
didn't.
Universe yet.
Oh, not yet.
No,
Okay. Okay.
I have one of those
Um,
job things.
oh, I hate that. I
Yeah.
hate the idea of that. Davos says never get the luxury black card. Yeah. So do you have a card that you wouldn't get? You think? Is there anything that comes to mind?
Oh
I
yeah,
guess
absolutely. Yeah,
like of the normal cards that we kind of talk about.
yeah. Honestly,
Like
so I
yeah.
think kind of the most controversial one of these that I would pick, and I'm thinking about doing a video about why I would never get it. But
Whoa.
congratulations, here it is.
Yeah.
The Amex, the Amazon business card. It's a solid card,
Oh.
but here's the thing: the Aspire exists, the Delta cards exist, and that card takes up one of my 5 slots, and I just can't do it. Like but here's the thing: it has a 5% off or a 5% back, same as a personal card through Chase. But I think there's a cap on it too. If yeah, cap applies. I'm not sure what the cap is or if it would be that big of a deal. But yeah, so it takes up a slot, and it's a little nerf from the personal card, which I already hold. So that's one of the reasons why I would probably never ever get that, unless the sign-up bonus was maybe $300. But
Hmm.
I definitely
Yeah.
can't see myself getting that.
I could see that. I could see that. We did get
Ooh,
this
that's so
last
scary.
year. I think for 125. I think is what we
Oh,
got.
okay.
Um, which is yeah the same as this one. So we got it just for that. But yeah, you're right. It's totally like trash.
Yeah,
For sure. And I actually have another question for you after. Hopefully, I can remember. But it has to
yeah.
do with like next
I
cards
love this comment though.
to get. So I'm just typing it in so I don't forget. Source King says, with a Swedish flag, have either of you ever used a hotel concierge to help making a restaurant reservation?
I
Interesting.
tried
So,
to. I was
really?
unsuccessful, but I tried. So
Mhm.
when I stayed at the Park Hyatt in New York, my wife decided that she wanted to try to get into the Polo Bar, which is a kind of a steakhouse
Mhm.
burger restaurant owned by Ralph Lauren. And so basically, it's like one of those restaurants where if you're a celebrity, you kind of go there.
Mhm.
And one of her favorite podcasters went there, and so she was like, "Well, let's try to go." And I was like, "It's very difficult." I had to call a phone number exactly 30 days out, and I waited on hold for 4.5 hours only to find out that all of them were booked. So I called
Ugh,
the Park Hyatt concierge, and I was like, "Hey, is there any way to get this to happen?" And they're like, "Well, it's probably not going to happen, but we can check." And they checked, and it didn't happen. But it was worth a shot.
damn.
They can try to help you, but that was a very kind of insane use case. But you know,
Yeah, that's interesting. That's very interesting to see if they can. I never really thought about. I don't think I ever. No, I don't think I ever did. The only time I would ever do it is like if the restaurant was in the hotel, but never for
oh yeah,
never for a hotel for a restaurant outside of the property. Um, but like even like that Michelin star in the Waldorf in DC is still like I don't even know if I made a reservation actually. Now that I think about it, I don't even remember. But I've had like the concierges help me book restaurant, reservations before, like just like
yeah.
Mastercard or Amex, concierge and stuff like that. Um, which have it's been good. I like when they do it. I think Amex was good for like a specific restaurant, especially if it was a resi restaurant. Then you had a lot of pull. Like
Yeah.
they go above and beyond. Like At least at that
They
time
do.
for Valentine's Day, like when it was Resi Restaurant, I had my platinum. I called them up, and I remember they were emailing the managers like daily to
Oh
have
wow, that
something
is
open
nice.
up for me. And they've told me all this. They were like, "Yeah, we've been emailing the manager like every day. We kind of know how to navigate those situations and try to figure out." And they eventually got us a table at a fully booked out place on Valentine's Day with like 2 days notice. Like it was
That's
amazing.
amazing.
So
Wow.
that was great. So I think it's good for that. I have used Mastercard to give me curated restaurant lists based on like Visa
Oh,
Dining
cool.
Collection or just whatever we like to eat. And then I like what
Did you
Mastercard
find that
does
to be
because they'll
actually
give you,
helpful?
yeah, because they'll give you like a full list of like 10 restaurants based on your preferences. And sometimes they'll add, like I said, they'll add like some history about it,
Oh,
about the
cool.
actual, like sometimes they'll be like, I don't know, it's since the 1960s or something, or it's known for its seafood broil, or I don't know, they'll say a bunch of different things. Or if it comes with a free dessert or wine. And then you can either just book it yourself or you can email them back like, can you make a reservation for two at this time for this place, and then they'll
That's
kind of work.
awesome.
um, and to Xavier's question, does Philip have the Ritz card? Can he explain the three upgrades that come with them? Like, can we book the cheapest room and they'll upgrade us? Oh yeah, I
All right.
actually would like to hear your thoughts on that. So explain what it
Yeah.
is and then how you
Okay.
want to use
So the thing with these, so these are the thing that I hate about Marriott too, and I'm going to rant a little bit and then answer the question, because the way these show up in your app, it makes it look like you have like 3 free nights available, but then you click into it and you don't. It's just like the upgrade certificates, but Marriott's app doesn't know how to differentiate between having those night certificates or having the upgrade certificate. So, I opened my app one day. I was like, oh, did they make a mistake? And I actually get 3 more free nights? And it wasn't the case. But anyway, yeah. So these have to be on cash stays at a Ritz Carlton. And I believe that it has to be at least 2 nights. So it has to be at least 2 nights and it has to be a cash stay. Now, um, I think, room rate that you're supposed to be able to use it for.
it.
But I have seen some people in Reddit say that they've been able to get like a cheaper room rate and then just apply it after the fact. Like they can go in to
Mm.
modify the reservation and then apply those upgrades or maybe even call in. So there's kind of a little bit of wiggle room about which rate you have to pay, but you definitely have to pay. And I believe it still has to be at least 2 nights.
Hmm. Interesting. But at least 2 nights,
But
really?
I believe that I saw that because I was looking at trying to make the one in Atlanta work, and because it was on the cheaper end because it's an older property, and I was like, yeah, I can pay for 2 nights, and that was why. But it just didn't make
Uh,
sense for where we were staying.
yeah, that kind of saw. I remember talking to Key about that, and she was like, "I don't know anybody that uses this. I don't know anybody who cares about this, which is unfortunate." But
Actually, I
yeah, I
have a
mean,
data point about that. Actually,
really.
yeah. So my wife used to work for an ad agency that had McDonald's as a client. And so they actually worked with a couple of the some of the larger like owner conglomerate, kind of companies. And one of the guy's daughters also worked for the company. And she said her dad has a Ritz Carlton card, and he actually pays for. They only stay at Ritz Carltons whenever they go out, and
Hmm.
that's because I have 30 McDonald's money, right? And so they use those certificates. So yeah, that's definitely not for people like you and me. But
Yeah.
maybe if you start actually, selling those $1 million houses. But
Right.
yeah,
Interesting. That's so interesting. Yeah. I mean, the
yeah,
card's powerful enough without it. It's why most people don't really make a fuss about it, I guess. But it's that would be nice if you could just like, a single night, like as you said, bro, 2 nights ruins everything. It literally does. Like
it
edit,
does.
what
Yeah,
the heck? That's why FHR is so powerful. But man, ooh, you think on that refresh, they're gonna change the style? You think they're gonna make FHR 2 night minimum? Do you think they're gonna do that? I don't know.
I don't know. I think the point of FHR is to get people to try new properties, and I feel like the 2 night would kind of kill that a little bit. I don't know. I could get I could have a wrong read on Amex, but it feels like that kind of goes against the spirit of the program. But I could be
Hmm.
wrong.
Yeah, interesting. I guess speaking of the Ritz, QC Man wants to know if the Reddit post is real. I think you shared in the Discord this morning. Somebody
Yeah.
wasn't able to product change their bound list to a Ritz, but if you read further, just to clarify. Someone said I just did it. Like right below his post, he was like, "Yeah, I just called and I just
Right.
did it too." So I think it was just the agent. But it
Right.
leaves people worrying, like, oh, are all these videos about the Ritz starting to, is it going to start? Are we going to start nerfing things? Are the YouTubers the fault? What do you think?
Yeah. So that definitely is, whenever I do a video on the Ritz-Carlton card, that seems to be the most common comment, right? Honestly, so the thing is, and I know this may sound like a cop-out, but, I am definitely just kind of reacting to the fact that everyone loves to talk about this card, right? And the fact that
Hmm.
everyone loves to talk about this card because it's such a great card and it's amazing. I definitely will be keeping it as long as I can, as long as it makes sense. But Chase at the end of the day is such a huge company that I doubt that if every single one of my subscribers got a Marriott Boundless card, yesterday, and then product change if it was still available next year, I doubt that would really make a big difference in the actual sign up numbers. What do you think about that?
I just wonder how they'd be able to like know that. Like unless all of a sudden there's like on the same day a year later there's such an influx of Ritz people coming in. It's like,
Yeah.
it's such a barrier to of time that it's a lot
Hmm.
harder to track.
Right. Like the
Um,
follow through would just be like you'd have to say, okay, do I want to just hold this one card that makes a lot of sense financially, and then get this other card that may make sense if I do some more things?
Yeah, I do think there is an element to them watching the channels, though. I definitely do think they have people behind the scenes who, well, I mean, I know that they do. I know they have
Yeah.
because with these affiliates and stuff, I kind of have some background info on what they do, and they do go through and they'll audit people's channels sometimes. That's why we saw some things, and they'll
Yeah.
see like, oh, are you saying things we don't necessarily like? And then they don't like that, and so I know that there's some dudes behind the scenes who are really good at like the game, and
Hmm.
that because I know it to be true because the whole Sapphire Reserve rollout was perfectly made to allow for the least amount of leakage of them losing money from our community directly. I mean,
Yeah.
like the edit 2 nights was perfectly lined with that.
Hmm.
Everyone wanted FHR one night and it was going to be powerful. 2 nights, okay, cool. This new
Yeah.
524 no bonus, the fact that the new credits wouldn't come on the card for existing card holders
Yeah. That
until
was
October.
huge.
Like that's
Yeah.
an unprecedented. Like everything they did on the rollout was perfectly aligned to not allow us to because then everyone
I don't
would have
even think it
upgraded.
was
I
about
would have
us. I think it's
upgraded.
just openly user hostile at this point. Like,
Hmm.
the Amex Gold rollout really set everyone's expectations, right? Like you paid 250, even if you paid, 250 like the day before they rolled out the changes, you got those for the full year.
Hmm.
And like it makes sense, right? It makes sense on the back end too, because Chase has to facilitate having essentially two different cards in their back end system. And so like that's so much more manpower, so much more work to make that
Hmm.
happen that it seems like I can't believe that it would actually be cheaper in the long run, but it just seems very kind of user hostile in my opinion.
Yeah, it's for sure interesting. And QC Man says, "Long live the Ritz." Smiley
Yeah.
face. Thank you, QC Man, for the 2 spot, man. I appreciate you, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks for always being here. And QC Man, he plays, but he knows more about all this stuff than anybody. He's always around. He always knows the stories and everything. He's like, yeah, he's in the know with all this
Oh,
stuff.
that's a
So
good
thank you,
question.
QC Man. Ezraman, huh? He said, "You're right on the money, or Monty Anthony. I'm a spy for City." I don't. I honestly, I don't. I believe you. I do believe you. I believe you. I believe that you guys are out there. And honestly, if you are,
Honestly,
if you're free, let's do a video together. I would love to hear some behind the scenes. I would love to talk to some reps from these companies. I think it would be a lot of fun.
yeah.
You guys know my style by now, and there's no gotcha here. So if you are, please let me know.
Can't let Joe
But
be the
not
only
like
one that actually talks to the banks.
yeah, what the hell? Yeah, let me get some play here. But it's too bad I don't know more about City. If I had some sneaky stuff to
City's
bring
doing the
up.
right stuff, at least currently.
Yeah, yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested. My main thing is I
Yeah.
want to see what happens with. I'd be really interested to see what happens with American Airlines and Alaska going forward. Now that this loophole is
Yeah.
ending, mixed to Alaska, and if City does get the direct partnership with AA, I'm really interested to see like people's
I mean,
roadmaps
I
and
don't see how
people's.
they don't, honestly. Like,
Mm,
because United's locked up, Delta's locked up. The only one
mhm.
that's not is American. So definitely needs to be.
Yeah,
I got
I
another
think
one,
so.
so you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And QC Man asks you, so thank you again, QC Man. Philip, if you were
Yeah.
more of a Marriott loyalist, would you say Brilliant over the Ritz? Oh, damn. Did you? No, you didn't do this video.
No, I
I
haven't.
think you should do
I
this.
don't have the Brilliant, and
Oh,
honestly, I gotta say, when I was first watching, who is it? Was it Sebi that did the whole video about the Marriott like 4-year roadmap or whatever it was to get all the free certificates? It
oh,
was somebody,
Stan.
I forgot. Stan, yeah, Stan did it. So he did all that, and I was like, yeah, like I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get the Ritz. I'm gonna get the Brilliant. It's gonna be great. But the Brilliant is like it's very expensive, and I think the Platinum benefit, the only thing you really get with that is some properties will give you free breakfast,
Yeah.
it's not guaranteed, right? So I mean, it is nice when they do, but the Brilliant, it doesn't earn any better than the Ritz, at least with Marriott properties. It does earn by default because it gives you a higher status, but it's not that much more. The dining credit is kind of interesting, but like I don't know. I don't feel like it gives you much more beyond maybe getting a free breakfast at some of the properties. Um, what do you think, Anthony? Or would this be compelling for you?
No. Yeah. I mean, it's for me. It's just like I don't know. Again, I'm just looking at opportunity costs, and it's like I'm already not caring too much about Marriott at the moment, and I'm just
Yeah,
like for $100 less annual fee, I can get a free night award with Hilton, which I know I can get way more value than this 85K cert with Marriott.
absolutely. Yeah,
Um, and then I just I don't go out. I really don't eat that out at all. So like for me, it's just like no. The only thing I would do is get up. I forget. I think they had a 185 welcome offer, 185,000. I would say cool. Yeah, I
yeah,
would maybe do that. I
100%.
would
Yeah.
do it for that at some point, but definitely
And
not a
also,
long
what's
term.
weird to me, and I think this is one of the biggest reasons why I'm not a Marriott loyalty or loyalist, is because it's so stinking hard to earn Marriott points. Like I
Yeah.
stayed at a Hilton property for 3 nights in Louisville, and I got like 20,000 Hilton points right just from that.
Yeah.
And IHG is the same way. Like I think it was like a 26 x multiplier with the IHG card that we were looking at.
Yep.
Like, I mean, that's insanely easy to earn these points. And yeah, given that easeability of earning the points, yeah, like paying, 60, 80,000 a night points, 80,000 points for a night kind of makes sense. But Marriott is the same price point wise for these rooms, but it's so much harder. Like with this card, that's 6 points per dollar on this card. And that's any Marriott card other than I think the no annual fee one has a smaller multiplier.
Mm,
And that's compared to the Aspire. I think it's 14x on Hilton.
yeah.
Plus, you get an extra 20 for being Diamond. So that's
Yeah.
34 points per dollar. And it's crazy. Like they don't reward their people that actually spend money with them, which is like I thought that was the whole point of a loyalty program.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
and it's
Marriott
not
does
even
the
like you
same.
could make the argument that like Hyatt people can, where it's like, oh, well, the points are worth that much, that much
Right.
more.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, I actually Marriott, and well, in my opinion now, based on
Yeah.
SLH redemptions,
Oh,
I think
100%. Yeah.
Marriott's way worse than Hilton. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, you can earn way more with Hilton, and the points are more valuable. So it's like, why even,
Yeah.
why even worry about it?
When I was looking to
Um,
stay in New York City, I was thinking about like if I was wanting to convert my Amex points to a hotel program, I could stay at the Marriott. I could convert 80,000 Amex points to Marriott, which is a stupid redemption. Nobody should ever do that. Or I could convert, well, 40,000 Amex points for that same Hilton stay at a comparable property. It's like, I don't see a good benefit for ever staying in a Marriott, at least from a loyalty perspective.
yeah, yeah. Plus, yeah, we get so much at Hilton's just with our normal, gold and diamond. It's like
Right.
they
Yeah,
really they treat us well at our
they
Hiltons.
do. They have a
Uh,
good program. Hopefully, they don't break it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Legit. And that freaking breakfast was sick at the SLH in Paros. Like that was awesome.
Oh yeah.
It was so
And
good.
Yuri's got a great point too. I don't use the Ritz at Marriott's either. I prepay for them with my Amex Platinum card.
Mm, interesting. Um, I did want to point out because we have a celebration, a quick celebration for Sammy J Travels. He said he just became an AU on the Ritz. Best way to have lounge access if I have the CSP. Very nice. That's the way to
There you
do it,
go.
Sammy.
Yeah.
Don't pay for a Ritz. Just befriend somebody who has one. Oh
It
God!
works for
Until they
Anthony. It
change.
can work for you.
That's right.
How many
I'll
authorized
teach
users
you.
does Key have? Did she ever tell you?
Yeah, I think she said like 12. like, and I think I'm two of them actually. Oddly enough, I think
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah, we messed something up, and then I think she did another one, but I don't know if she's gonna send it.
An
But
important thing to talk about too, if we're still going on the whole me beating you at
yeah,
this debate thing.
all right.
Um, the Chase Priority Pass through the Ritz Carlton card is actually better than the Priority Pass through the Amex cards. So that's you get a little bit more guest access, and it seems like when there's a little bit of a wait list, I've heard some people say that the Chase Priority Pass maybe has a little bit less of a wait. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but Reddit seems to agree with me.
You're saying when you have a reserve priority pass versus a Ritz priority pass?
No, like any Chase Priority Pass, so Ritz or Reserve, better than Amex Priority Pass or Capital One
Oh,
Priority Pass.
oh, I see, I see. Well, so I was just because I was just wondering how that relates to you beating me in this debate. I just don't see that. All the more reason to get rid of platinum card and just get the Ritz AU. But that
In
was
your
interesting.
weird
Someone
definition of premium, yeah, sure.
right, exactly, yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, true. Somebody in the Discord, I forget who it was this morning. I don't know if you saw this, but he mentioned that he was trying to get into was it a Sapphire Lounge? And he said that there was a wait with
Oh yeah, I
his
did see something about that. Yeah,
with
I
his
think
reserve.
yeah, and they said that like the Ritz was better than the Reserve or something.
They
I
were
don't know. It was
like
weird.
they were like, "Oh, you're waitlisted or something, or we won't, but we'll get you in immediately if you can show us your Ritz card too." It was like if you had a
Right.
reserve
Yeah.
and a Ritz, you could get into the
Which
lab.
is
I've never heard
wild
that
because,
before.
like, I feel like when you go into Sapphire Lounges, and I haven't actually gone into a Sapphire Lounge yet, so correct me if I'm wrong, you don't actually show them your Chase card. It's your Priority Pass affiliated with that card, right?
I would say probably. I haven't done it yet, but I would say probably because that's how it was.
At all
That's
the
how it
other
usually
lounges.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they usually just kind of do that. I guess aside from like Centurion and stuff like that. But
And another thing
uh,
about the Platinum card that gives you access to the Chase Sapphire Lounges, I always have to talk about that because it's one visit and it's $75 for a guest, but it still gives you access to the Sapphire Lounge.
yeah, which is kind of insane.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry, I kind of ran
uh,
over you.
I'm trying to see. What Mike? Mike says Cabby NG going live in 30 minutes. Calby?
Oh,
I don't
really?
see him. I don't see him going live anywhere. Where do you see that?
Guess we have a hard stop.
I mean, but I don't see. He didn't tell me. He tells me everything. Mike, let me know. Is he actually? Where do you see that? Yes, that's pretty interesting. Okay. But shout out to Sammy. He says, "What's the best way to use a $300 Ritz credit?"
Oh,
What do
yeah.
you think?
Okay. So the way it's said in the terms and conditions, it's an airline incidental credit, and it's supposed to be used like just to pay like taxes and fees and stuff like that. And I haven't been able to actually test it out because I actually use this on paying for the tax and fees on a couple upper class redemptions with Virgin.
Mm,
But I have heard some people say that they've been able to use it for hotel stays, some for rental cars, things like that. Just honestly, if they say no, that's just a hang up, call again kind of situation. But I've heard I've heard a lot of different data points on it being pretty fairly wide open because the reps actually get it confused with the reserve travel credit, which is
yeah,
completely open. So if you just say travel credit, then it's possible they could make a mistake in your favor.
yeah, yeah. And that's what people have definitely said over time, which is interesting. Uh, QC man, even Stan uses his chasing preferred 3x travel at Marriott, and he's Mr. Marriott. That's funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, what's the yeah, why? You might as well earn that currency all day.
yeah,
Um,
100%.
for that. Lonnie's here. Happy Saturday, everyone. Hey, Avi and
Hey,
Phils, come
Lonnie.
on, Lonnie. What's poppin', man?
He's awesome.
Yeah, Lonnie's the best. QC man, Marriott's argument is the availability of its properties. Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's
interesting.
true. That is
But I'm just like,
100% true.
I don't know. I feel like I've been looking at a lot of different countries, and Hilton's everywhere now. At least with
Yeah,
SLH. With SLH now, they're everywhere.
you're right.
Like
Yeah.
Greece had nothing, and now it has everything with
hmm
SLH.
And honestly,
Um,
SLH is so like if anybody that's watching ever gets a chance to look at SLH, do it, because my wife and I were staying at the Cotswolds, and we were looking. You can actually use like Hilton points to stay at an Airbnb in the Cotswolds, which is the British countryside. It's like every building is like 400 years old. It's insane, and like you
really?
can use your Hilton points, and it's an amazing it's an amazing value proposition, and I hope it doesn't get broken too easily. At least break it after I use it. So
Yeah. Wait, I'm interested to see that what you're talking about. Which hotels are these?
I forgot what it's called. It's
Dormy
there's two
House,
of them. Yeah, that's one of them. And one of them usually has wider
Fox
availability
Hill.
than the other. Yeah, those are the two, and they're really interesting properties.
Oh
Yeah, we're
wow.
gonna look at them. Yeah, right. Yeah, like that's just so cool. Now, I think some of these you do have to like some of the buildings have air conditioning and some of them don't.
Hmm.
So that's a consideration. But these are you can use your Hilton points for them, and it's not terribly expensive. I think it was like when we were looking at them, I think it was like 70, 80,000 points, something like that a night.
Nice. Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, SLH properties will sell out more quickly than others because a lot of people are jumping on them now, thanks to Anthony.
Oh god, I'm surprised the video did as well. I was like,
Yeah,
I think I just had a lot of passion behind it, but I I really loved it. Dennis says, dude, a lot of SLH properties are sold out for the summer. Yeah, I would start booking out next year personally. Even though I still see a lot of award availability for at least the places I was looking in for the dates. I'm like, damn,
yeah.
it's a lot,
If
lot
you're
available.
open
But
to like not exact locations, you can find something.
yeah, yeah. Philmo says, quick question for both of you: how many JetBlue flights in one day is too many? Oh my goodness.
I'm looking into
Yeah,
that JetBlue promotion. That is something. You know, 350,000 JetBlue points that's JetBlue mint overseas, right?
yeah.
For me and my wife. I don't know. Well, it depends on if they're on time, right? I guess that's the big question, Filmo.
What's the deal with this? JetBlue offers 25 years of True Blue Mosaic status for
So
25
it's
25 birthday
tiered. So if
promotion.
you fly, I think 15 times, it's 150,000 points. I was listening to Frequent Miler. If you guys aren't subscribed to Frequent Miler on the air, you need to be. They're amazing. 15 destinations, and now so each destination is on each airport, and you don't get points if it's just the basic fare, or you don't get points or credit for this if you're going to the same airport multiple times. So you have to go to 15 different airports for 150,000 points. Go on another 5, and then you earn 200,000 points. So 350,000 points for 20
Oh,
total. And then if you do another 5, you get 25 years of Mosaic 1. And of course, Frequent
jeez.
Miler's concern was obviously, is JetBlue going to be in business in 25 years, which is a valid question.
That's funny. Oh wow, I never thought
Yeah.
about that. Yeah,
Oh,
that's kind of like when,
yeah. The great thing about this is award fares count for this. So you can use points to earn
hmm,
those points. I don't know if it'll make sense, but you can do it.
that's pretty interesting. They say more than 100 destinations across the U.S., Latin America, Caribbean, Canada, Europe. Um,
But I'm
yeah,
seriously
Philmo was
looking into
saying,
this.
you really think you're gonna do it? That would be pretty
I,
crazy.
I, I, I don't know. Like it's a matter of will my wife let me? But
Huh.
it's intriguing. To be able to go JetBlue Mint, to London, that'd be pretty nice.
And you got to do it all before the new year, so
December
December
31st. Yeah,
31st, 2025. Yeah, I have a couple people reaching out who are like seriously considering doing this. Even some potential creators who are thinking about like, oh, what if like I flew in 25 airport? Like, actually, it would be a pretty cool video, but um,
yeah.
how much is that? I don't know. That's expensive. I
Yeah.
wonder how many points you would need to cover that
Yeah,
to
I
get
haven't done the
back.
math yet. I want to sit down and think about it, if it's even possible. But
Yeah.
it's definitely seems like it could be worth a squeeze.
Yeah. So how many JetBlue flights in one day is too many, Phil Mo?
If
Man.
it's economy, one is too many. I
Yeah,
don't know. Some
Phil
people
Mo, what
say
the
they
hell are you
like the
gonna do?
economy. It seems like their seats are a little more narrow for me, and I'm kind of a bigger guy. So, but
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true actually. Yeah. That is a good point. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of crazy. Clinton says, yes, you use your party pass, not your reserve tent to the Chase Lounge, but they get held
awesome.
associated with the
Thanks.
Sapphire. Cool.
Okay.
Excuse me, man. If your flight, isn't delayed, the JetBlue hard party is excellent in economy. Yeah, I always loved my JetBlues over the years.
Yeah, they're newer and they're cleaner, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Life on Earth. Anyone know anyone who has done an SAS Sky Team bonus for 1 mil points? I don't know why, but not many have talked about it. Oh, I think I saw
Honestly,
one thing about it, but
yeah, Frequent Miler talked about it like because they did like a
yeah,
podcast as they all did it, and honestly, some of them had some interesting visa stories. Like Vietnam was apparently was not playing ball, but
really.
um, yeah, it seemed really interesting. 1 million SAS points, and honestly, SAS points are insanely valuable because they still
Mm.
have a very standard award chart. I don't know what their hard products actually like. I haven't looked too much into that, but I am excited that Mesa now has SAS as a transfer partner.
Oh yeah, so that freaking so that's what you were talking about. So this freaking Mesa card is all of a sudden
Yeah.
starting to make the rounds. Um, what's the deal with this card? What the if you had to
So
sell
this
me on
card
this?
gets you, yeah. And I wish I could give you my. If you go to any of my videos, my
Yes.
referral code will be on there. But anyway, so the Mesa card is essentially it gives you points for being a homeowner. Essentially, when you pay your mortgage, and you don't even have to use the card to pay your mortgage. You just associate your bank account with this card. They read that you're paying a mortgage, and then they give you the points once you spend $1,000 on this card, which
Oh,
sounds like a lot, but you get 3 points per dollar on a lot of significant purchases. So, like, you're talking about like insurance, any kind of insurance, car insurance, home insurance, things like that get 3% or 3x per dollar. Contractors get 3x dollars. Our painter, we got 3 points per dollar on. The pool guy, we get 3 points per dollar on. Utilities, so our power, our water, um,
hmm.
all sorts of things get 3 points per
Daycare.
dollar. And so when and daycare is a huge one. If you have, a little kid and you're, having to look for daycare, like you're doing that spending anyway. And so it's really just a way to pick up points that like I'm picking up an extra 7,000 points a month that I wasn't before just because I had this card.
Hmm. And then you said that they recently picked up SAS as a transfer
Yes.
partner.
So their current transfer partners are kind of limited, but I was talking to someone actually over there, and they said that they're definitely bringing some more soon. But Air Canada Aeroplan and SAS were the most
Mm.
recent. There's also Cathay. There's I think Hainan. There's a bunch of random ones like Air Lotus or something like that. It's but they have Finnair, which is obvious, so that's helpful too.
Hmm.
Yeah, and no annual fee. Thank you, Joey Cowboy.
Let me see
The
here.
big box
Yeah.
credit is so this comes with coupons with no annual fee. So it gives you
Oh.
credit for a big box. So like if you pay for Costco or Sam's or BJ's, you actually get a statement
Huh.
credit back up to $65. And
Oh
then the
wow.
Lowe's credits are crazy because you get 3 points per dollar at Lowe's, but then you also get $120 annually, and I think it's what $30 per quarter. So yeah, so just those two things alone are kind of insane.
Interesting. Interesting. I wonder why they don't mention any of the other transfer partners other than just these new ones. Wonder why.
They're
Wonder
kind of
that right.
dumb. Like I think one was Air India, one was
Hmm.
they're not the best options, honestly. The
Huh.
SAS, Aeroplan, and Finnair usually are like the best ones. Oh, actually, they do have a hotel partner. It's a Core, so
Oh really?
ALL. Yeah,
Interesting. Interesting. Now I can see why you and Clausen have been talking about this card a little bit.
yeah,
I can
it's kind
see.
of
I can see.
amazing,
Oh
and it's
yeah,
metal
Joey
too,
Cowboy. Oh wow, there you go. So it's premium card for you, baby.
right? Yeah.
Nice, very nice. I'm loving the Mesa
See,
card
this is why
games.
you need to have a premium card.
Dang it, I've had it for a few months, been a game changer for me. Yeah, the
Yeah.
big box credit. That's pretty interesting that they give you like, so I can get like up to $65 on a Costco membership with this
Yep.
no annual fee card. Hmm.
100%.
I would love to be able to transfer to more. Well, actually, the SAS, honestly, yeah, you're right. A very powerful currency to have. Just, huh?
Yeah.
I
And it is
kind
a
of
Visa, so
obviously,
I haven't used it at Costco yet, but I don't know how much you'll earn at that, but you can
yeah,
use it there. I'll
interesting.
have to, you know what? I'm going to do a video about that. I'm going to go to Costco and we're going to test it out.
Hell yeah, go for it. Maybe in real life, Phil walking around and stuff. That'd be
There
cool.
you go.
Yuri, I just applied for Mesa a few days ago. They're still reviewing. That's
Oh, I have
interesting.
heard that they've started to kind of be a little weird about approvals because I think they got a little bit too many applications with that sign up bonus they had.
Yeah, I could see that from credit card YouTube coming in hot. You know, Two Guys loves those guys. Freaking Myler, absolutely. Forget daycare. I need senior care. Oh my god, tennis. Joking.
Got to
Yeah,
get my
3x and
insurance
childcare
somehow.
spending is huge. Yeah,
Yeah.
one hundred
Because that's,
percent.
I mean, honestly, for some houses, like it can be what, 1,500, 2,000 or more a month.
Oh yeah,
That's no joke. Yeah. And 3 points per
and
dollar. Yeah.
that's three. Yeah, 3x. That's wow. That is pretty. Huh. Yeah, 100,000 a year for or
Yeah.
70,000, 100,000 a year, depending on There's some folks I know who spend like insane amount in
Yuri's
different
dropping
areas.
knowledge. He's saying Air India is actually pretty good for domestic United.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
That's good to know.
That's interesting. Didn't know that. Huh. That is good to know. Kizima says, any of your students' parents a fan of your channel or ask about credit card stuff, Philip? Yeah, that's right.
So
You show them some stuff, right?
yeah, so I do. I teach economics, and we do talk about credit cards. But so one of the fine lines. So because I do get referral links and things like that on my channel, I really try to make sure I don't advertise the channel too much. Like like I think I just like mention it in passing every once in a while, but I don't want like there to ever be the perception of in order to get a good grade from me, you have to subscribe to my channel and like do all these things, right? So like just this is like a kind of a moral thing for me.
That's
So I don't
funny.
advertise it too much, but some of my students do find it, and they have asked me a little bit about like what credit card they should get, for being
Hmm.
starters and stuff like that, and like the Discover cards are pretty nice, Capital One, Quicksilver, things like that are usually
Yeah.
what where I send them. Just as long as I don't get Credit One cards.
Oh, wow. That's so
Yeah.
funny. But how old are they?
They're seniors in
They're,
high school, so they're turning
oh,
18 like during the year usually.
oh, okay. So they are just about to be eligible, yeah,
Yeah.
for some cards. That's interesting. Huh. Yeah, well, I don't know if I mentioned it on our first stream, but I always like to bring up because it was so cool that you did that. But when we talked about timeshares earlier in one of my timeshare
Oh yeah.
videos, you actually showed your class my video about the
I did.
timeshares,
Yeah.
um, and just being like, "Oh, here's the experience." That's so funny to me. I can't believe you did that.
Well, because
Uh,
everybody says the same thing of their high school experience. Like nobody taught us this in high school. And my economics class, one of the great things about Florida is that they love to essentially, do certain things. And one of them is part of the curriculum is financial literacy. And so
hmm,
it's actually my job to talk about this, which is fun. And talking about timeshares, like it's such an easy way for people to mess up their life. And so
yeah.
being able to learn about what they need to watch out for is important. And so you guys are increasing our financial literacy day by day.
Hmm. That's a
So
good point. I mean,
yeah,
uh,
sorry, go ahead.
no, you're so right. I mean, the timeshares. I mean, we joke about it in our community because we're like that, and we could say no, and we're just here for the points and stuff. But I mean, I said it on a couple streams. I'll talk about it in the video. But that timeshare I went to, like, there was a dude who was like, "Don't let him get you." 10 minutes later, I see him signing his name on the
Yep.
dotted line, paying for time. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's insane. Like, that's crazy. They get
Like
so
these
many
people are
people.
professionals at getting you to feel a certain way. And
Yes.
it works a lot.
Yeah. Link says, I got my Hilton timeshare in a few weeks in Orlando. Wish me luck. Hopefully, they don't call me waste of space when I say no. Well, they might.
It sounded like they kind of insulted you guys too when you went together.
when me and Calby went in Vegas, we made it seem like we really just like had no time. We're just working constantly. We can never get off. This is our one vacation, right? Our timeshare vacation, our 4 days, 3 nights. That's our one time off we get all year. And she says, like, you guys are like drones, like robots of the system. Like you're just working to funnel the world. And I was like,
You're just
yeah, I
living in the
know.
matrix.
But the most recent one I did was amazing in Hilton Head. Like I was
That's
genuinely
good.
curious about a couple things. I learned some more things about Hilton timeshares and stuff. He walked. We walked a room together. It was very nice. Um, and then when I told him, I was like, "Look, we just bought a house. You know, figuring stuff out. Not hard to, not too much work. All these different things." He was like, "Yeah, yeah." I think he kind of felt like it was a better decision not to for us. Personally, it's like we had too much going
Okay.
on at the moment to shell out, some money, and he didn't push at all. In fact, he actually stayed a couple more minutes and he was showing us places to go in Hilton Head. He was like, I totally recommend these places, go there.
Oh, that's
A very
awesome.
nice guy, like no
That's
no
great.
pushing whatsoever. Very nice guy. Um,
Love that.
yeah, so that was good. Yeah, it was. But yeah, the other one they called us robots, but this one was fine. So I think if you just act genuinely curious, I think people like, I don't know, they have attitudes about it. Like they'll be like smug and be like, oh, I don't need this.
Oh yeah.
I have my cards. I think just go in, talk to a person like as you normally would. That's what we did. We hung out, we learned about his life a little bit, and asked him questions about working here and his timeshare experiences, just to learn about it. I mean, I still think the 5 Hilton Aspires could be better, but I do think there are some situations where it could make sense for the right family. But for us in this
Oh
game,
yeah.
not really. It just depends. But yeah, he did. What did he tell me? He actually told me something interesting. He was like, "Oh, if you try to sell your timeshare, uh, Hilton will try to buy it back from you first at the
Yeah,
price you paid." Yeah.
I think some contracts have like whoever you bought it from has like first right of refusal if you try to sell it or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. And they were like, I don't know. They were like, we'd rather we buy it back than someone else buy it cheaper, so we can sell it for more or something
AKA
like
buy
that.
it for $1. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Some of them are given away for free, for
Yeah.
sure. QCMS, you won't push it, but if a kid uses your link, they're definitely getting an A, right? I mean, come on, let's be honest here.
Honestly,
If
there'd
you
be no way of knowing if I
Well, what if they screen recorded and they say, "Hey, Mister Stuckey, I just got approved for an Amex Gold with your link. You enjoy your 40,000 points. You're gonna give me an A, right?"
they might get a very glowing college
All right, a good
review letter or
recommendation.
something.
That's fine. Yeah, that's
But yeah,
not monetary, really. Yeah, I think that works.
yeah,
Yeah, he was a great student. He was my referral link. Nice guy.
yeah.
That's funny.
He helped me get that sweet cheddar. So
Yeah. Artist says financial literacy is extremely important. Yeah. Oh yeah. What did
Yep.
somebody else say? They said, Phil, come on down to New York City. Come on up there. Dennis says to
Oh yeah.
teach economics in New York City. Yeah, we didn't learn that. We didn't learn no economics. What the hell is economics? We don't know what that is. Oh, we got. Hold on. Any guesses on Apple Card's future? Amex maybe. Oh, Phil has an opinion. Who's it going
I
to?
got it. Yeah. So here's the thing. It's a matter of who wants it and who's willing to pay for it, right? The problem is Goldman Sachs is so. I think part of the problem is because they're getting out of the entire business, but they sold off the was it the GM card, and so they already lost a substantial amount of money on that.
Hmm.
And so they're probably going to try to recouping their loss. So it's going to be a little bit harder for them to make this deal. So I think who was it? Was it Chase that was trying to buy it? But like they had like basically a lowball offer. And so
Yeah.
Goldman was like, we can't sell it for that. But here's the thing, like they're still applying, they're giving these away to anybody.
Yeah.
And like, it's like it's such a bad debt load for any whoever holds it that it's like they can't charge top dollar.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
it might end up just going to synchrony, honestly. I think Amex
You think
just
that
feels
would be interesting?
I think Amex just feels too optimistic. Like it makes sense from a
Yeah.
brand perspective, but I don't know.
Hmm. Yuri says Barclays bought GM card. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I'm
The
not sure.
GM card actually wasn't that bad as a GM as a Goldman Sachs card, honestly. I think it
Yeah.
had a 4x multiplier on everything.
Hmm. Oh
I
wow,
did a video out about it
interesting.
recently.
Did you really?
It actually did pretty good. Yeah,
I never actually looked at that card much. So that's pretty interesting. I feel it's a useless card. But you could only
that's
use it at
true.
GM. Interesting.
But you can use it to buy a car. Like that's like
Yeah.
what other card can you say I can use my points to buy a car? Like you can't actually.
Right.
It's like towards the down payment, but still,
Yeah.
like it's kind of insane.
That is pretty funny. Yeah, I like that. Um, Definitely. I wanted to hit up Joey Cowboy, and then that'll lead me to my next thing, and then we'll probably close out. Joey Cowboy.
Yeah,
So, what do we
sure.
think is the best available sign up bonus on the market right now? I know about the CSR and the Amex Plat. Do you think the 5 free nights of the Bondboy are
So
worth
here's the
it? Where'd the
thing.
Bondboy go?
Yeah,
I
you did
had the
have it up.
Bondboy pulled up. What the hell? Oh, there it is. Yeah, so we got the Bondboy 5 nights. And we have IHG 5 nights there. Yeah, 5 nights at 60K. Yeah, what do you think, Phil?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Like I get the 5 free nights, and yeah, like if you play ball and you kind of look around, you can say like the JW Marriott for 5 nights or something like that. It can make a lot of sense if you play ball. But most of the people that get this card and get this sign up bonus are going to stay at the Courtyard, and they're going to get like they're going to say like $500.
Mhm.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like the best sign up bonus, honestly, and I did a video on it on my channel about the platinum business card. Has it is targeted, but you can kind of play around and become targeted. Is this one has a 250,000 bonus plus $500 in cash back when you spend $2,500 in airfare. But I believe that $2,500 can go towards a $20,000 maximum. So yeah, so you're not targeted right now, but there is a 250,000 point offer and a 200,000 point offer. But
Mm.
if you are targeted for that, like that's an insane offer, especially when you compare it to what's the Chase Sapphire Reserve Business is what 200,000 points for 30,000 in spend.
Yes.
So like I'd much rather get Amex points through that for less spend if I am spending that much.
Yeah. I hear that. Yeah. And
But I mean, the
otherwise,
Marriott's, yeah, 250,000 Marriott points is nothing to sneeze at, but it's difficult to get full value for that.
see, I would prefer that personally. I would prefer if they gave me 250,000 points. Like if they just
That's
instead of
fair.
5 free nights,
Yeah,
like if they gave me 250K, oh yeah, I would actually be all over it.
ball out
Like
at
I
the
would
St.
immediately.
Regis or something.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
literally a property I want to stay in Kyoto that is like
Okay.
120 each. Like I would get 2 nights there. Like one easy money I would get it. But the 5 nights just makes it, and the 50K cap, you're right. I think it's just going to be a couple courtyards, which is okay. You could supplement a stay. But I don't know. I'm just not that interested in it. Um, Otherwise, I don't
Sweet.
know what else is
Yeah.
super elevated at the moment that would be interesting to go for. Um, like I can't even
I
say my Hilton cards, no free night certificate at the moment. Yeah,
yeah. I QC Man actually brought up an interesting point about the Apple Card app. If do you have the Apple Card, Anthony?
no.
Okay. So the Apple Card has an insanely good app, and my phone's recording me, so I can't use it. But basically, what it does, it has like a little chart, like a little pie chart, essentially, and you put in like how much you want to pay, and it will tell you how much interest you'll be paying if you only pay that amount. And so
Mm.
actually, like I use that in my classroom to tell the kids, like, okay, to demonstrate if you pay the minimum payment, you're paying interest and all this stuff. And it's really a great way to teach people like kind of how credit card interest works. So I just wanted to
Mm.
say that. I know I didn't want to veer too far off topic, but QC man made a great point.
That's very cool. That's good to know too. Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
think any way to educate that'll be powerful for
yeah,
people. Joey says, I don't love it. 5 nights pretty awesome. Yuri's still fighting to
yeah.
get that player two approved. Bulkhead Sam Tony from Croatia. Very nice,
Welcome.
Bulkhead. Very nice. Enjoying that. And he said IHG 5X at 60
Mhm.
is still
I think the
available, right?
standard offer is 3 nights, right?
Yes. So yeah, we
Yeah,
got the 5 nights still available, which I'm probably going to get. However, what are your thoughts on this? Back to me.
yeah.
And my back to my thought on something. So again, I'm 424. I'm thinking about I'm going to be going LMAO. 24 very soon, but I'm trying to just maximize my 524, and I think I'm going to go for, well, like I said, an ink first. Um, an ink first, but if
Yeah.
that doesn't work, I think I'm going to get this IHG. But what are we
Do you
thinking
have the
as far
IHG
as,
business?
no,
Okay.
you think that's worth it? You think that's
I don't know.
more
What's the
worth it?
sign up bonus on that right now?
Let's see. I don't even know if it's still called Premier, but
I think it is.
Business
Yeah.
Premier. Let's see. Yeah, 140,000
Okay.
points for
So
4K.
less.
So it's, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm worried that I also want to pick up a Prime Visa personally. I want to get 200.
Oh yeah.
There's something I want to get
I'm
via
dropping a
Amazon.
video on Monday if you want to use a referral link.
Yeah, will do.
I'll give you
But
an A.
oh, thank you. Yeah, I can finally pass high school. um, this is how we know each other, guys. Actually, Phil's my economics teacher. I'm a
Oh,
super
I'm not that
senior.
old. Come on.
No, no, I'm a current student. But a
Yeah.
$200 gift card. But I'm wondering, because everyone's like, oh, obviously you can get approved over 524. But what if I'm right in this new prediction that the 524 is now only constituting, are you getting approved for the bonus or not? And I'm like, do I get my IHG now, go up to 524, then apply for the Prime Visa, and they tell me, oh, you're not eligible for the bonus? My guess is no, but I'm just wondering. I don't
I
know.
feel like the reason, so the breaking the 524 rule, I feel like was kind of pioneered by Amazon. And I feel like that's because a lot of these signups are
Mm,
kind of funded in part by Amazon, right? Like, because it's in Amazon's best interest to have more people use this card.
yeah.
So I feel like that's like, I feel like that would be less likely to do it than other cards, but nothing's 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm going to get it. And here he says Amazon card is also pretty used. Get it soon as said. No,
Those
I'm
things
gonna
are
get it for
nice.
I'm gonna get it for that $200 bonus for sure. Easy money for sure. That $200 bonus. But yeah, I won't use the card after the fact. Definitely not.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm probably gonna, unless I could get it from the family plan somehow again, try to get status match my her prime to me, and then I can apply
Oh
for the
yeah.
card and get the 200. But if I have to, I'll pay whatever it is, $13, get prime, and then apply for it, and then downgrade it.
Oh
Get
yeah. There you
refunded.
go.
I'll just go ham with that. And Kirby says, I want the IHG card so bad, but the place I want to go is 70K per night. Might wait for an elevated offer in the IHG business. Not sure. Can you top up IHG?
One of
I
them
don't
you
know.
can't. I feel like it might be IHG. I'm not
Huh.
100% on that.
Interesting. I thought I might have read you could, but I don't think so. Can you top up IHG point stays? It says you can. I mean, AI says you can top up. Let's see.
I
There's a
mean,
Reddit
it's
thread
Gemini,
here.
so
Yeah, I don't know if that's correct. IHG for night top off with points. Nothing above it.
Okay. So Kirby says with the 35K cert, yes, but not with the bonus.
Oh, interesting. Yes, without with a bonus. Interesting. Okay.
I think I have heard that. That makes sense.
Allegedly, you cannot top up these subs. You can with the 40K ones. Huh.
Okay.
Damn, everybody knows. Wow. Hell yeah. I love it. Real time for sure. Let me see here. Okay, we got a couple things. Harold says, how would you rank the top 4 or 5 hotel programs at this point? Oh God, that's a video.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, I think there's different ways to look at it, right? Is it as a credit card partner, as a loyalty program, or as an actual person who's staying in hotels? Because those are very different answers, right?
Yeah,
I
that's
think if we're
true.
talking about hotel or card points, I think Hilton all the
Hilton.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because it makes
Value.
it easy to get value.
Yeah. Stretching the points farther, probably Hyatt,
Yeah, that's fair. I always, because I'm not a Chase guy, so I always forget that Hyatt exists. But
Oh wow. Oh, I
yeah,
can't wait for your Hyatt showdown one day. You're gonna go ham with Hyatt when you go into it, 100%.
I mean, I have. So we're actually staying at the Hyatt Regency in DC next week, actually, and we used 50,000 points for 3 nights in DC in the summer. So yeah, I
The
mean,
one near
it's a
the
good
airport?
value. No, the one on Capitol Hill.
Oh, okay. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's gonna be good. That's gonna be a good stay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Will that be their first Hyatt?
No, we stay at the Park Hyatt with points
Oh,
in New
what am I
York.
saying? Yeah, you did the Park Hyatt. That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah.
But yeah, so this will be my second.
Bulkhead says Park Hyatt Maldives was transcendent as a Category 7, just unbeatable. Wow, it's only a
That's
Cat 7.
awesome.
That's kind of crazy, huh?
That is wild. Yeah.
Wow.
I think the Park Hyatt was an 8 in New York.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got to be. Yeah, that is pretty wild. One of the hotels I'm staying in Florence just moved up from a Cat 7 to a Cat 8. So I'm like,
Oh,
you
okay.
know, I luckily got in at the Cat 7 rates though, which is pretty cool. We'll
One thing
see.
that is nice about the Cat 8s is that they still have the seasonal rates, so off season and in season or peak or whatever it is where they use. So you can get the Park Hyatt New York for 35,000 points if you pick the right
Yeah.
dates.
Oh yeah, 100%. Maybe like in December when you were like
Right.
when you
Yeah.
guys are the cold,
Yeah.
Let me see here. Xavier says we have the Ritz card. Can we get into the Marriott Chase card? I tried getting one when I had the Boundless, and Chase told me no because I already had the Boundless. Huh.
I feel like that might have just been because you already had that specific card. Maybe if I don't know. I haven't tried it yet because my next Marriott's card is going to be the Amex, the business one. But in another 2 years, I can try it. So
Yeah. Curry fell in love with IHG at one of their properties in Auckland. Best breakfast I ever had, but Hilton just throws points at you. Absolutely.
they do. They
Oakland.
honestly do.
Yeah. Oakland. I just stayed at the Hyatt Regency Resort and Casino in Incline Village, Nevada, right on Lake Tahoe. Very nice. Booked it through the MasterCard program. Very nice, Oakland. Hell yeah. That's great.
You know, one place I'm really looking forward to staying in Nevada is well, maybe it's Nevada or Utah. There's a Waldorf Astoria that's like a ski lodge that looks really cool. It has like a fireplace in every room. Where is it?
Oh.
It's Salt Lake. It's south of Salt Lake City or something like that.
In Utah, you said?
Cool. Yeah.
Is it the Park Hyatt? Because I think
it's a Hilton. There's a Waldorf there.
Hilton.
There probably is a Park Hyatt there too, but I know that the Waldorf looks interesting.
Because he mentioned his Park Hyatt and I think it was in. Oh no, was he? No, he was in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. That's where it was. But it was the same deal, like fireplaces and a resort. It's like closed off, like very cool.
Oh yeah,
that's very nice. And we'll close out with Mike Newland's question here.
Yes.
What would you consider your worst card that you have right now, both of you? I think you already have an answer to it. I think you got it ready. I'll have to think about it.
Yes. So my very, very, very worst card, and I actually have to because it's embossed, which is just gross, right? The City Furniture card, which is through Synchrony. It's a store card, right? So it's bad.
Yep.
It doesn't earn anything. It just gives you 0% financing on your stuff, and it's deferred financing, so you got to pay it off. So that's the very worst one. But my Ally Educators Inspire is gets 2% cash back, but it's only available as a statement credit, and it's only after you get $25 back. So that's weird. And then my USA Amex card only gets like 2 points on dining or something. So
wow,
those are my 3 worst. Yeah,
damn, those are some good submissions. And it's like I can't even match like the store card hate because I got the Kohl's card, but I think it's freaking goated. I think it's one of the best cards on earth.
Yeah, that one makes sense. Yeah.
Probably the worst card that I have now is worst card, right? It's my Yada card. It's not even a credit card anymore. It's technically a debit card, but definitely my Yada card is the worst. It went from being like one of my most fun and interesting ones to the worst, just because they ruined the program. They changed the mission for the card, and now it doesn't do anything.
Gambling is bad. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm not. Yeah. Crazy. You went from a system that incentivized saving to now incentivize gambling. Like how? How did you do the biggest?
It's basically loot boxes, right? Yeah.
Yes. So that is the worst card I have at the moment for sure. And
it's a good one.
Not even unreal. Yeah.
And now we need to watch you subscribe to YouTube Premium.
I can't do it. I'm sorry. Ian said to refund it if I'm not going to do it. If I knew how to refund it, I would. But I'm not doing premium, man. It's just not worth it to me. I'd rather spend.
Not even if someone pays for you.
No, it's not worth it. I'd rather go buy a couple steaks, a couple steaks this
That's
week,
fair.
versus the premium. But I get, listen, I understand people's time. I get it. I understand the value of the time value, of your time, the value of your time. I just can't do it. I just can't subscribe to it. I don't want to. But
I got
maybe I
that.
will. Although I will say premium, everyone's getting premium because as you can see now, if you look at the
Hmm.
analytics on the backgrounds of YouTube, when you get paid for
Yeah.
making some of these videos, it'll tell you the split between how many people watched ads versus the split of how many people are subscribed to YouTube Premium because
Yep.
we get paid from premium people too. And the split used to be like 97% people watching ads to 3% premium. Now it's like over 10% premium and 90% ads. Eventually everyone's going to be subscribed to
Yeah.
premium. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's interesting. Um, I think that's very, very interesting. And Clinton got it grandfathered in at $7.99. Very nice.
Nice.
Google Play Music original rate. That's crazy. That's very, very cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Uh, Oh, John Jones. Sorry to hear you retired recently. I mean, he had a good run though, John Jones, Johnny Bones Jones. Would you guys get a new credit card just to get 1x more for a category? My example is I spend about 4K in travel per year, so at the moment I get 2x. Would you open a new credit card for 3x? So I'm guessing you're
All
maybe
right.
a reserve person that went from 3x down to Sapphire Preferred to 2x.
So I will say I am not the person. Okay, I'm losing credit cards. I'm not the
Oh my
person to
god!
ask this question. I got the one key card last week. Do you want to know why I got the one key card?
You did. Oh wow!
Yeah.
Why? It's not bad
Because
actually.
my family is going to do a trip to the beach next year, and I wanted to subsidize it. So yeah, I'll get a new card for
Bro,
anything.
this guy gets cards for any occasion. Any
It's a
occasion
Tuesday.
he
Let's
gets a
get a
new card
card.
for it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's funny. I would just say, I mean, for 4K for an extra 1x, like I just don't know where it'd be worth it. Like I could tell you get an ink preferred and get 3x travel, instead of your Sapphire preferred at 2x. Um, but that's just an additional 4K points. I mean, that could book you a very cheap Hyatt place extra every year.
Yeah. So what's
So
that
it's
going
technically
from
worth.
a venture to like a saver card or something? Or I guess no, to a city premiere or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I guess you're adding 95 annual fee to get 4,000 points. So if you're gonna do it, make sure the currency is worth more than 95, which I would
Yeah.
say that the 4K, if you use it on Hyatt, at least easy value, like a cheap Hyatt place, it's like $130-$50 hotel. So it's more valuable, yeah. Is it worth going for it just to the I mean, I never think of it like that. Like I have no problem earning my 2x right now on my Sapphire Preferred, my 3x
Yeah.
on groceries, and my 3x on dining. Like I'm happy with that, and I'm just going to keep applying for cards to get me welcome offers for now.
And that's why the venture card is so much better than the Chase Sapphire Preferred.
Oh wow! Oh god, is this? Oh man,
Do we just schedule the
evil.
next debate?
That's the next debate. But
Yeah.
Venture's better than the CSP.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. I have to look at that points boost. I've been meaning to look into the points boost of the CSP. I got to
That's
check some
true. Yeah, that's
hotels.
important. Yeah.
If I can get some 1.75x now, that's better. That's better than I think. I think I can
Yeah.
kill the Venture, but I have
See, I
both.
guess that kind of defines because you do a lot of Hyatt redemptions and I just do a lot of business class redemptions to Europe. So
Well, yeah, I could see it. Well, it's like I never really use the portal. And actually, it wouldn't really matter to me, to be honest. But I just think I had a couple boutique stays that I booked through the portal, so I just wanted to see, like, okay, I booked it at 1.25. I wonder if it's available for 1.75. That'd be cool.
oh
But
yeah.
no, I mean, I think you're right. Earning the 2x is powerful. It just depends where you're using those points, I guess.
100%. And I did a video on
Versus
that as well, which would be up here if I was doing the video.
the end of the video. Oh my goodness! But as Bulkhead Sam said, you just get some more
That's
points and
true.
stuff.
Yeah. It's hard to deal when you're in sign up bonus mode. It's
Yeah,
hard to argue.
it's just the way. Gives me a day. I hope you're carrying most of those in your digital wallet, not straining your back carrying all those cards for real.
Yeah.
People,
This is my primary actually no, yeah. So if is it okay if I talk about the my pals at Exeter? Can I do that?
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
We
So
both have
this is my
pals at
Exeter wallet. So they send this over. And so it's got this nice little thing. Someone asked me actually how it works with metal cards. And I think I asked you that too. Let's see if I can get some metal cards together. All right, so it actually works really good. There you go.
Nice.
All metal cards. So yeah, it's really nice. It's there's a link in the description somewhere. Go watch one of my videos.
Oh my god. Oh my god, yeah, Boca says, whoa, how do you guys have so many cards? I thought 20 was a lot. Well, I'll say part of these is like some replacement cards as well.
Oh yeah.
And some canceled ones and stuff. But I, technically like around probably close to 40 with me and my wife. Because I got just hold all hers.
I've only canceled one card so far.
Really? That's not bad.
Yeah.
Sam says, do you think points boost increases your threshold for Hyatt redemptions? Probably not. No, probably not.
Yeah.
It would still, no, it's just not even, it's still not even close. Even that 2x, I think, for the way, at least I want to use them going forward. I wouldn't really, not really worried about it. Just for that one boutique that I booked in Italy, I'm like, if I can save some points that way, that'd be cool. And Mike says, oh, Phil, do you want to give Anthony any tips on how to use an elevator at a Park Hyatt? Do you have any tips on how to ride the elevator?
I think I actually did this in our first video where I talked about the fact the Park Hyatt had 2 elevators. You had to go one to go from the entry lobby to the main lobby, and then one to the actual room. But yeah, it's true. Great. You just push the button on the direction you want to go.
Oh, and then it takes you there. Really? I've never seen that before. I've never experienced that. Elevators I go into, they go to all different floors. They go, they go all over the place.
You just don't know what's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what floor I'm going to end on. And Woodsy's coming in hot. What's going on, Woodsy? What's popping? Okay, so this was a lot of fun. We got to do a little bit of debate in the intro. We talked about a lot of different things. Phil, always happy to have you here. It's always a pleasure. Always good energy, and you're just a wealth of knowledge. If you want to go subscribe, here's Anthony Venture. You don't want to
subscribe to him too, guy. And hit the like button while we're at it. How many likes do we have already?
I have no idea, actually, but I appreciate it. But here's Phil, points of Philip. Just past the threshold of 1K, 87 videos, pretty much every day posting something.
It has been,
a lot of the times debating me and stuff, but it's okay. But a lot of good topics. Pretty much every topic you can think of, like everything you can think of, he'll hit up, which is pretty cool. So go subscribe.
Yeah.
I'll leave the link down here for those who are interested. But no, thanks again, Phil, for just being here.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here, and thank you for Woodsy. Wow, that's awesome. Oh, I'm wrong, but not right. Not going to say you're wrong, but not right. Okay.
Woodsy, you always have the timing of you'll come in the intro, and then you say you have to leave, but you'll drop 20, or now you come in late. And then you'll leave, drop a 20. So what the hell, Woodsy? Well, now you're not late. I'm just saying, at the end. Not going to say you're wrong, Phil, but not right. It's all dependent on the situation.
I'll take that.
And look, Woodsy's in good company. He does also have a reserve.
Okay.
And he was actually cooking up some very interesting ways to use the credits. I was talking to him in the Discord. I think this morning or yesterday. So, I mean, Woodsy, maybe we'll do a video. Maybe we'll get your thoughts on the new reserve and see how you're using it, because you had a pretty interesting little setup. Absolutely. Yeah. So Woodsy, appreciate you, man. I really do. Thank you for the super chats. And actually, let me hit up everybody. So Woodsy, of course, bam, appreciate you, sir. QC man, long live the Ritz. Mike Newland, of course, for the premium fund. MR for the premium fund. Oh my goodness. Ian for the premium fund. Phil Mo, Phil's rule, and John also came in pretty early with all that. So thank you all for the super chats. Thank you all for a really great time. And yes, Woodsy, you know what? I'll hit you up. I'll hit you up in the Discord, and then I'll get you back with this. So once again, thank you all. Thank you, Phil, and enjoy the night. Have fun. Keep traveling. Be safe. All right. Take care, everybody.